And German and myself might have to pop back on to WHS 11 on air. We got the Storm Team meteorologist Sam Gabrielli here, who has a flight later today. We'll see about that.
Yeah, right.
But we're tracking the threat of severe weather. We have severe thunderstorms just off to the southwest. Let me adjust the window box so it's a little bit bigger there. So first line is heavy rainfall, maybe a few severe thunderstorm warnings. But Sam, it looks like just out to the west, that is the main threat, and that has possibly hurricane force winds.
Yeah, we have a lot going on here so far, Ben. You know, we are talking about two different lines of thunderstorms that we are tracking right now. I would say the one that's off to our west is a little more defined than the one that we're dealing with right now along the I-65 corridor. But let's jump into it and let's get started with the current warning right now. This first one is going down to the south. If you live in Mumfordville and Greensburg, this storm is heading on a beeline your direction right now. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 12:30 this afternoon, Central Time, so 1:30 Eastern. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this storm system, and we are tracking the storm system's moving 90 miles an hour to the north and east. So this thing is really packing quite the punch. Also, during the live video, if you have any kind of questions at all, I'm in here, and send them. Go ahead and send them on Facebook, and I'll try and answer them the best that I can. Looks like we're getting a couple comments right now just to say stay safe, don't take any risks in these severe thunderstorms as they continue to trek their way to the north right now. Again, this warning goes towards the Glasgow area, extreme southern Kentuckiana, but we are mainly concerned for the counties such as Hart County, Metcalfe County, Barron County, and Greene County right now, as the storm is marching really quickly to the north and east. This whole storm system is so well defined, and all the ingredients are there and ripe in our atmosphere for these to track quite a bit and really pack quite the punch as they continue to make their way to the north and east. So again, this storm is moving northeast at 90 miles an hour. It has 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts with it. So that shows you the sheer strength of these severe thunderstorms as they march their way to the north. Again, right now in Louisville, we're noticing more just a steady rainfall that we've frankly been seeing for the past 10 hours or so. And we're only going to be continuing to notice the rainfall as we progress throughout the day. Now, there is probably going to be a break in the activity to our west. That is because we have another line that's developing, a very potent line that's developing in that brief dry slot. Take a look at these warnings that we're tracking right now. We have 2 tornado warnings underway. This is for the Evansville area, so this is actually outside of our viewing area, but these storms are going to be making their way into our area very soon. These tornado warnings are for the counties of, looks like it's towards Union County in northwestern Kentucky, and that goes until 12:30 Central, so 1:30 Eastern. So in the next 15 minutes, the National Weather Service is likely going to be extending that warning. It looks like it's radar indicated, so this tornado is not confirmed on the ground, but you need to be treating it like it is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. It's making its way towards Evansville, so if you have family or friends in that direction, please keep them posted on the situation. We have a couple of questions and comments right here. Jennifer's asking if Louisville isn't going to get anything but rain. That is false. It looks like we are going to be dealing with some severe storms in Louisville.
Look like we're at 2:30.
Yeah, more towards the 2:30 time frame. Models are kind of adjusting as we've gotten some new updates lately, and it's looking more towards 2-3 o'clock here in Metro Louisville for the severe storms. We have a couple of comments. Any idea when it will be in Oldham County? Oldham placed just northeast of Louisville, so more towards about 3:30ish, I would say. Let me just go ahead and hop on Futurecast so you get an idea of when all these severe storms will make their way into much of Kentuckiana. Keep in mind we have just a solo warning. That's down extreme southern areas of Kentuckiana right now. This is what we do have projected on Futurecast. So you can see that right now around 1 o'clock, we're dealing with that band of rain right now across southern Indiana, much of Louisville, and the severe storms to the south down by Mumfordville and Litchfield. But notice what time, right around 2-3 o'clock, that's where that line of showers and storms that we're watching towards Evansville is likely going to making a beeline for our area. It'll be marching right along I-64, making its way towards the I-65 corridor, and then again marching up I-71 eventually as we progress throughout the early to mid-afternoon. So we're not out of the woods per se. I know we've been seeing a steady rain so far in Louisville and Jefferson County, but we have another potential for more showers and storms later on, and this line is going to be a lot more serious of a line of the thunderstorms than what we saw earlier on. We are going to continue to monitor this situation. Again, let me pop up some of the active warnings we have underway right now. We have that severe thunderstorm warning that is issued for southern areas of looks like the Mumfordville area, Greensburg, Glasgow of Kentuckiana. This does go until 12:30 Central, so in the next 15 minutes, we'll see if they go ahead and extend it. If you live in Three Springs, around 12:15 is when right now is when you can expect this thunderstorm. It looks like we're not tracking any hail with this storm. We're mainly going to be concerned about very heavy rainfall and strong wind gusts as these storms trek their way to the north and east. Another question, looks like what time is Hikes Point going to get this? Alden, if you can help me, do you know where Hikes Point exactly is?
Hikes Point, Kentucky.
Yes.
That's a Louisville neighborhood, so Louisville.
Okay, so Louisville area. Yeah, anywhere that lives in Louisville, Jefferson County as a whole, more in that 2 to 3 o'clock time frame. If you have any Adirondack furniture that needs to be brought in, anything around the house, around the yard itself that you just need to be proactive about and bring inside so it's not a risk when the strong wind blows through and the tornadoes possibly. Go ahead and do that right now. Bring the car in the garage, whatever you have to do to protect property, protect the area around you, and just be proactive before these thunderstorms rumble through. Looks like we also have some more comments. When will it be over Scottsburg? Scottsburg, I would say just after Louisville is when this line of storms is going to make its way through, so we're looking at more towards 3 o'clock for those of you in southern Indiana. Maybe as quick as 2 o'clock in the Corden area. Towards Du Bois County as well. Continuing to get more questions on this video. I'm just trying to figure out the best questions here. Will we be expecting those heavy sustained winds today? Yes, Chris, we definitely are. Let me pop up the information on the high wind warning that we have in full force for us here. This is the high wind warning we're watching for the area. Again, if I can pop up the information. So this high wind warning does go until 10 o'clock tonight. So basically what we're all concerned about with this high wind warning is this is non-thunderstorm wind gusts. This is straight line or very strong wind gusts that are going to be wrapping around this low pressure center because the low is very close to us along the Ohio River. So we're going to be seeing wind gusts as the afternoon progresses, getting to 50 to 60 miles an hour. So it's going to be a really strong storm system. So Ben, I was just telling the viewers, even if we're not seeing thunderstorms, we're still going to be dealing with the super strong wind gusts during the day today.
Oh yeah, it's really incredible system. This is like top 10 strongest area of low pressures that we've really seen in our area. Let me pull up real quick our reflectivity. So this line out to the west, let me get rid of this, is moving east at around 70 miles per hour. Let me make sure this is correct. We'll fix that. And so this will give us a better idea.
We're putting a
where
tracker
will
on
be
this
coming
line.
into our area.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go full screen.
So about 245. I find that extremely accurate. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. We'll take some time with this little track here. Hopefully answer some of your questions. So after around 2 p.m., moving into Metro Louisville, 2:30-ish, but be ready before that time frame. That's like when it's going to hit. So heading into Jasper, Indiana around 2 o'clock. So that's just about 45 minutes. Excuse me. Into Brandenburg at about 2:20. Elizabethtown 2:30. Definitely give or take a good 15 minutes on either side of these because we can get bowing echoes, which is like where the line swells out and it bows out. That could bring it in sooner. There could be a little kink in the line, so they just kind of bulge out here and there. So definitely give yourself some time ahead of these numbers that you see right here. Elizabethtown 2:30, into Metro Louisville 2:30 to 2:45, Shelbyville at around 3, and then Frankfort around 3:30. So it looks like the timing is still on track. It looks like for the most part this will be moving out of our viewing area around 3 to 3:30, but definitely the biggest concern is that squall line that we are seeing with tornado warnings around Evansville right now. It is really incredible how quickly that line is moving. Really, I can't remember. We had a tornado warning earlier, Sam, and it was moving 85 miles per hour. So,
yeah.
and that severe thunderstorm warning is for 90 miles per hour. That's not the winds we're talking about. That's how fast the supercell or that storm is moving through the air.
Right.
So incredible.
And Ben, I was going to say to the viewers that are tuning in, honestly, I'm a little concerned about this portion of the line here because that is what is on track to kind of march into our highly populated areas right now. And it is strengthening that line down to the south. So we are monitoring this whole situation. But Ben, if family or friends live in Evansville, for those of you tuning in, you need to make sure they're getting to the lowest level of their home right now.
Yeah, I don't have the visible satellite up, but there's an amazing clearing between those two lines. And that clearing, you may see some sunshine behind that first line of rain.
Yeah.
And then bam.
I know. That's all this system needed is a little bit of sunshine.
Hurricane force winds after that. Let's see if we got some futurecast wind gusts that we can bring up here to take us into this afternoon. So this is the secondary threat that we can't ignore as well. Once the storms move through, could still have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Let's go back to full screen here. So let's look ahead. So we'll go to 4 o'clock. So this is when the storms are gone. And look at the wind gusts in Elizabethtown, 61.
Extreme wind. And you can see clearly where the low pressure is, up to the north, where the wind is basically non-existent.
So we are talking about winds that are normally in a severe thunderstorm that can do damage without storms. So the threat isn't over with necessarily once that squall line moves out. Yes, that's the biggest threat as far as tornadoes and severe storms. But then we've got the high winds that can still knock over trees, still cause some power outages. That's why there's the high wind warning until all the way till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a huge concern about wind gusts. You know, you talk about tree branches going down. You talk about trees in general going down in that kind of wind. And, you know, power outages are going to be likely as well.
And we do have that tornado watch for much of the area until 10 p.m. No, I'm sorry, 5 p.m. It'll likely be canceled maybe an hour early for much of our area because of how quickly that system is moving through. We still have that flash flood warning for a little bit longer for Metro Louisville, although it's continued to be extended thanks to all the heavy rainfall around the area. So lots of different alerts here. You got the flood watch, you got flash flood warnings along I-64. Evansville right now dealing with all the tornado warnings, and then you've got the severe thunderstorm warning down around Hart, Greene, and up through LaRue and eastern Hardin County with winds possibly in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let me try to put on the velocity here, see what's happening down to the south. All right, we've got...
we have severe thunderstorm warnings.
I know.
Okay.
It's not querying the actual.
So 145 is where that warning
So those
is.
are got yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning there for Hodgenville. So we'll likely be cutting into television programming here in just a second with that threat increasing across Kentuckiana. And we'll go back to our radar here in just a second. I know the screen is getting cluttered. We're going to clear it up here for you. So again, it looks like after 2 p.m., the threat increases rapidly for areas along Interstate 65 and Metro Louisville. So 2 to 3 o'clock for areas along I-65 and east of 65. I'll let you continue, and we're going to move this direction.
Sounds great. Yeah, Ben and Alden are going to be cutting into live programming, so you could tune in live to this video, but also have it on your TV as well. We have a lot going on right now. You know, there's 2 different lines that we're watching at the time being. One of them, obviously, is already packing quite the punch down towards E-Town and towards Campbellsville, just to the west of Campbellsville. So if you live in these communities along I-65, right along the Parkway system here, this is where conditions are really going to be getting pretty bad. And again, the information on these severe thunderstorm warnings, they're marching to the north and east rather quickly, around 80 miles an hour. So these storms are going 80 miles an hour to the northeast. We're tracking 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts with these storms. They'll march into, obviously, LaRue County, Hart County, Grayson County, Hardin, and Barron County as we speak. You know, let me put a little bit of a tracker on these storms so you get an idea of the next communities that are going to be impacted as it marches northeast around 80 miles an hour. Most quick severe thunderstorms move at a pace of around 50, so that just puts in perspective how fast this system is and how unique it is overall if these storms are really marching that quickly to the north and east. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a tracker on this system. If it's moving 80 miles an hour, it'll make it to the I-64 corridor towards Shelbyville in about an hour. There's the timing of this severe thunderstorm warning. It's not tornado warned, but treat it like a tornado. Please get inside and seek shelter. Get away from windows or any areas where there could be of danger and risk that you could be injured. There's some of the arrival times of this severe thunderstorm warning. Munfordville, you're going to be getting it right now. Bardstown, just around 2 o'clock Eastern. Shelbyville, 2:22.
What's behind me right now?
A couple of questions here. Shepherdsville, yes, Madison. Shepherdsville is going to be getting the storm pretty soon. I would say in the next hour.
Get max 1 behind? Okay. A little power.
You want Sam to keep doing the slide? No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Max 1 will be something behind me first.
So yeah, the information on this severe thunderstorm warning moving northeast
Yeah,
at
give me
80.
1 second, though.
It has 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're not watching hail with this, but it is packing a huge punch as it drifts to the northeast right now, around 80 miles an hour. And we also have that really big line of storms that we're watching to the west of Kentuckiana right now. This whole system is moving to the east-northeast really quickly as well. So I'm more concerned about this line as it's going to make its way towards E-Town eventually, Litchfield, Caneyville, and Morgantown, even Bowling Green over the next half an hour or so. So yeah, again, these lines of storms are marching north and east around 80 to 90 miles an hour, and they are turning severe, obviously. You know, we're not the only ones dealing with the severe weather. We have tornadoes down by Chattanooga, even towards Nashville. But again, we're dealing with more of a steady rainfall right now in Louisville. Nothing severe at the moment, but you have a little bit of time if you need to run a quick errand or, you know, just prepare your home and get your severe weather survival kit prepared. Just in case you do lose power or you are in a tornado warning, or you do have extensive damage to your home. It's really imperative you act now and use a lot of precaution.
We'll go back to regional. We'll do a loop. We'll go to general alerts map. We'll go to just warnings map. And then we'll rinse and repeat. They're still moving northeast like 80, 90. Are we starting with tornado watch? That's fine with me.
Oh, sorry, I'm just clicking through to make sure I got things before I want to. We'll have reflectivity ready,
Okay.
and I'm also going to drag in satellite.
Here's all these storms we're watching right now. Again, if you're tuning in, we have the active severe thunderstorm warning down towards E-Town, points south of there. That goes until 1:45 Eastern Daylight Time, or Eastern Standard Time. We have another one down to the south towards Campbellsville. That one is set to expire in about 2 minutes, so they're likely going to be extending that towards the Taylor, Adair counties area, making it towards Lebanon, even towards Springfield.
Yeah, I'm seeing wind gust reports about 80, 90.
From that line?
Yes.
Yeah, we're ready. Are you okay? Did I lose you? Okay.
Okay, quick then, that line is producing wind gusts of 55 to 60. However, they're saying they're thinking of putting warnings of 80 miles per hour and the alert text, so it'll set off the WEAs, set off our phones.
Migrants and sirens. Is there 2 warnings south of them? Elizabethtown? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
2 of them, they both have no possible tags. They are booking it.
All right, we're back with you. I am Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine, alongside Storm Team Meteorologist Alden German and Storm Team Meteorologist Sam Gabrielli is live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. We've got you covered on air, online, and on WHS11.com. You can get our WHS11 app. A lot of different ways to get some crucial information here this afternoon. We will likely be with you for quite some time, possibly all the way through 3 o'clock, because we have hurricane force winds with this line near Evansville, and it's moving rapidly to the east around 70 miles per hour.
So as you can hear Ben Pine in the background, he's live on WHIS 11. So you can tune in live to this video, and you can also tune in live on WHIS 11. We have the latest on that as well. So here's a look at some of these warnings. Again, we still have the active severe thunderstorm warning down to the south towards Campbellsville, Columbia as well. It looks like it's clearing the Bowling Green area, but if you live in Bardstown right now, towards Lexington, even Frankfort, I would suggest getting inside quickly. Bringing your car inside, whatever you have to do. Maybe you have some furniture that's still around the yard that needs to be brought inside. Maybe some lawn chairs, probably a good idea to do just that. And obviously, prepare your home for severe thunderstorm awareness and get your survival kit ready. Batteries, flashlight, candles, because not even if we have the severe thunderstorm warning impacting your area, we're going to be talking about extremely strong wind gusts that'll be down, making for down power lines and a lot of power outages across the area. This is that warning we still have in full force. That includes E-Town, Hodgenville towards the Parkway system, Munfordville right now. It's moving to the northeast around 80 miles an hour as we speak. This is the tracker on it. I'll go ahead and put a tracker on it so you get an idea of how quickly it is moving and where it's going to be heading next. So if you're going to be living on the east side of Louisville, you can expect this storm likely by the time we get into about the 2:15 time frame. Shelbyville, Anchorage, Mount Washington by about 2 o'clock. Bardstown just shy of 2 p.m. as the storm does march to the north-northeast right now, around 80 miles an hour. We're not tracking large hail with this. It's more falling in the form of very heavy rainfall and wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour with this line. So we march off to the west right now. We have a pretty decent line developing and still getting its act together off towards Evansville, and then again towards the Hartford area, Madisonville. This storm is really moving quickly as well to the east, and it is not currently impacting Kentuckiana, but give it a little bit of time. It is getting really close and knocking on our doorstep. It'll be making its way here pretty soon as well. Let me put a tracker on this line so you know what to expect.
At around 140 to 150 into Greensburg, Kentucky at around 12:56 Central Time. We're coming up to around 2 p.m. Eastern Time into the Bardstown area at about 2 o'clock. Lebanon on there around 2.
So we're expecting this severe thunderstorm to impact the Louisville area around 2:30 to 2:45 this evening, this afternoon. We're expecting Shelbyville right around 2:56, Owensboro around 12:35. Right now here Central Time. So this storm is going to be moving really quickly to the east-northeast.
When these storms are going to be heading your direction very rapidly. So the strongest storms immediately.
Yes, Renee, Louisville will get hit by the storm system.
Right now. This is line 1, by the way, and then we have line 2 that's just out to the west, and very strong winds. If you want to put it into reflectivity, or velocity mode here, all in, we can. Kind of give you an idea.
And go ahead, please, if you have any questions during this live video about anything at all related to these severe thunderstorm warnings, if they'll be affecting your area, what the timing is going to be, please send them my way. We're going to be keeping you updated here at the First Alert Storm Team at WHIS 11. You can see this is a big line of thunderstorms, and the second batch is what I'm most concerned about right now, as they're impacting western Kentucky. These warnings that are underway for areas just to the west of Breckinridge County and Grayson County, these warnings go until about 1 o'clock Central, so in the next 27 minutes they're set to finally expire. So likely the National Weather Service will be extending these warnings and bringing them into Hardinsburg, Litchfield, towards the Jasper area. So it's getting awfully close to our area, Kentuckiana, where these severe thunderstorms will be impacting us. Let me give you an idea of what kind of rainfall we've been seeing with these storms so far as well. It's been a very, very wet day so far. On top of the strong wind that we're going to be dealing with and the severe weather, look at these totals that have come in. 2.5 inches of rain at the airport in Louisville, 2.7 inches or so in Cordon so far. Huntingburg coming in at 3.07 inches. That is a lot of rain that we've been dealing with. So if you can think about that and know that that's across a whole area, not just these airports. That is a lot of water that's associated with this storm system. So it's packing quite the punch. Again, let me go ahead and fix this. These tornado watches actually go through about 5 o'clock Eastern this afternoon. Let me make sure I retype this so it's more accurate information than 2 o'clock. That was for the warning off to the watch off to the west from earlier until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Perfect. So if you live anywhere in these red categories, please make sure you know that this tornado watch does go until 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today. So this is for that lighter shaded red. It includes Frankfurt, it includes Lexington, it includes Madison. Maybe you have travel plans down in the south towards Bowling Green. That's where we're expecting conditions to get pretty bad as well when it comes to severe storms. And we still have the active flood warnings that are in full force. This flash flood warning in Metro Louisville goes until 1:45 this afternoon. We have a couple more off to the west, of course, towards Orange County, Du Bois County, Perry County. These go until about 2:15 Eastern Standard Time in portions of Indiana. So in a flash flood warning, what that means is we've seen way too much rain in a short amount of time. So that means that you need to be making sure if you live in a river valley or a low-lying area, you need to be getting to higher ground and avoiding, just the flooded areas as best you can.
And also this severe thunderstorm warning has a tag on it that says tornado possible. There could be, at a moment's notice, a little spin-up tornado that can't be ruled out in any of this activity. The parent low-pressure storm system, the center of the low-pressure storm system, is right about here. So these lines are swirling.
Yes, so all these flash flood warnings go through this afternoon. So keep in mind, here in Metro Louisville, we are under a flash flood warning until 1:45 this afternoon. So this storm system is packing a huge punch right now. And again, make sure you tune into WHS 11 right now. We're actually live on the air. Ben and Olden are live on TV while I'm giving you the furthest updates here on Facebook Live.
Also, I was just told that radiated is actually underneath of that storm near E-Town right now. And I want to get back in a little bit closer with that because it does appear as if maybe we're seeing some other signs of a rotation with it. I'll get in just a little bit closer down here so we can do another analysis of some of those wind speeds. We're looking at the live picture of a radiated right now. He's pulled off to the side of the road there. You can see those sheets of, those curtains of rain that are coming down, traffic moving very, very slowly, and we're going to continue to see those exceptionally high wind speeds coming as well. Now, one good thing about this event that we have right now is that there is virtually no hail.
So again, here's these severe thunderstorm warnings we're tracking right now. There is 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts with these severe thunderstorm warnings, and they're moving to the northeast at 80 miles an hour if you live in the counties such as LaRue, eventually Bullitt County, Hardin County, Hart County, Greene County, even towards Nelson and extreme southeastern areas of Jefferson County. Please get to the lowest level of your home or seek shelter and ride these storms out. They're not tornadic, but they are producing extremely strong wind gusts. When you get straight line winds up to about 70 miles an hour, that makes for very dangerous conditions when it comes to these severe thunderstorms warnings as they make their way to the north and east. A couple more questions.
What's with that color palette with cloth? Like, you don't see much differentiation. Usually blue.
Jasmine asking if I think that Louisville to Shelbyville will be getting the tornado warning. I do think so. There is no tornado warning in Kentuckiana right now, but give it a little bit of time. There is going to be potential for that to happen here. Keisha asking if the second line is stronger. Yes, it is. The second line is what I'm most concerned about right now. Bowling Green, yes, Bowling Green is getting hit very soon here with these severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of people concerned about the second line. Lexington from Vicky, yes, if you live in Lexington, you'll expect these storms eventually more towards the 3-4 o'clock hours and possibly beyond that. These lines actually might converge here pretty soon. The second one is getting awfully close to that first line. It's marching its way to the east, like around 90 miles an hour. I mean, these storms are really packing a quick punch as they drift their way to the east.
Thank you, Reed. Yeah, it looks like it's coming through horizontal, and yeah, we've been talking about the comparison.
Yes, Louisville is likely to
the
get
storm
hit. Do
system
you think
that we have
Scott
out
County,
there
Indiana will be
and the
affected?
tropical
Yes,
storm
100%.
is
Scott
very strong.
County will be affected by these thunderstorms as they continue to march their way to the east to northeast rather quickly. I mean, look at this line developing to our west. Hardinsburg, Beaver Dam, Tell City, just north of Bowling Green, along US Highway 165. I mean, this line is moving really, really quickly right now. I'm going to try and get the estimated time of arrival on it for you. We're looking at 80 mile an hour wind gusts with this storm. It's very destructive line. This is moving northeast at 65. So the storm itself is moving northeast at 65 right now, but wind gusts are up to 80 miles an hour along this line. Where you see that bowing going on, where the storm really starts to kind of bow out right here, see that? That's where the wind is going to be at its worst right now, and it's making a beeline towards the Hardinsburg area as we speak. So this storm system is really packing a huge punch. Let me pull up some of the estimated time of arrivals on this storm.
2:30 Eastern time, because of that line right there. That's had a history of putting down.
Louisville still around 240, Bardstown here around 247, Tell City at 157. It is extremely important right now. You stay inside, you prepare your home for the event that you lose power or you are under tornado warning, so then you are prepared. It is too late if you're not prepared and it happens to you. So please, please, please use precaution.
If you have winds these strong, they also can bring down power poles and power lines, which results in power outages. And these storms are still booking it, and that's really a bit of an understatement.
So here we are in motion, all these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. We actually have a new tornado warning issued just to the west of Jasper right now. Take a look at this line. This is not, let me pull up the information on this tornado warning. Damaging tornado, radar confirmed tornado. So this is radar indicated. That means that it is not confirmed on the ground. But please, if you live just to the west of Du Bois County, in portions of southern Indiana, just to the south of Davies County, southwest of Martin County, you need to be taking this very, very seriously right now. This tornado warning is underway, pushing just far into western Kentuckiana as we speak, and these storms are moving their way to the northeast very quickly. There's so much spin in the atmosphere because the low pressure with this whole system is centered over southern Illinois right now, so that's why we're getting the extremely fast-paced storms and tornadic signatures with these thunderstorms. So here's the first line. This is where we're getting the ongoing severe weather threat in our area right now. E-Town along I-65 right now. That is where we're noticing the heaviest rainfall right now, and there is going to be a risk for a tornado or two, along with wind gusts up to about 60 to 70 miles an hour. So please be proactive and safe. Look at this. We're dealing with a little bit of a brief break of the rainfall in Louisville, which is nice to see, but it's only going to be a matter of time before we deal with more showers and storms. Again, the big batches right now are down to the south. Greensburg, Campbellsville, just to the west of Lebanon, Bardstown. All these storms marching north and east right now around 65 to 70 miles an hour. That's extremely fast. A couple more comments we might have. Timing in LaGrange. LaGrange, I mean, you're going to be getting this storm probably the next half an hour to 45 minutes. It's right now down towards E-Town, and it's going to march its way right up I-65, brush the eastern fringe of Louisville, and march itself right into LaGrange here pretty soon. Bullitt County getting the 90 mile an hour wind. Yes, Bullitt County is going to be getting this thunderstorm very soon here just south of Shepherdsville. If you live in Bullitt County, please get inside. Don't even take risks in this. Got a question about the timing in Litchfield. Litchfield pretty soon. I mean, look at this line right here. Beaver Dam, Caneyville. It's knocking on our western county's doorstep right now. So this is quite the storm right here. And again, Ben and Olden are both live on WHAS 11, so if you want to get two forms of information from all of us meteorologists here on the First Alert Storm Team, you have that option. You have Facebook Live and you have live TV right now to get the latest on these storms.
These spin-ups and tornadoes. I do also want to emphasize that straight line winds of 70 or 80, same as an EF0 tornado. That's why
Newcastle and Lockport. Newcastle probably a bit later. Again, these storms are making their way up to the north and east gradually, but Newcastle probably in about 45 minutes we're expecting these storms. I'll put another big tracker on this so you get a better idea of when these storms are going to be marching their way to the northeast around. Let me just double check that the storm system, oh, looks like that warning has been canceled down in E-Town, so that's good news. But you still need to be treating it seriously. There's a lot of lightning being detected. Most of the lightning right now is actually towards Bardstown in Bullitt County, Nelson County right now, Hardin County. That's where a lot of the lightning is being detected with this severe thunderstorm warning right now. So again, here's the two lines we're watching. One out in front along I-65 with the other one that's looking a lot more intense, I would say. That's off to the west, and that is looking to make its way across our counties here pretty soon. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings issued for western Kentucky right now. The first batch right now is Hardin County, Breckenridge County, Ohio County, Grayson County, Butler County, Hancock County, and Perry counties. This is a huge severe thunderstorm warning box. And I will put a quick tracker on this storm so you get an idea of how quickly it is moving. Northeast at 80 miles an hour. If you live in these communities, please take a look at the timing of this storm. This is the estimated time of arrival with these severe thunderstorm warnings. About 1:15. Louisville, we're still expecting it right at 2:45 or so. Tell City around 1:59 Eastern, Litchfield around 1:08 Central, Brandenburg 2:20, E-Town 2:30. So this storm is going to be very impactful as it's marching its way to the north and east very, very quickly, 80 miles an hour. And on the leading edge of this whole system is the straight line wind gusts and the gust front, we call it. Gust fronts is the outflow we get, the cold, the very strong punch of air and strong wind gusts on the leading edge of this line. So even though you're not going to be picking up the thunderstorm itself in that moment, there will be extremely strong wind that is going to be impacting you immediately. So the strongest wind gusts with this line are going to be on the leading edge of the storm system. Again, it's not a tornado warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but you need to be treating straight line wind gusts just like a tornado warning. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you get an idea of the timing for these smaller communities that might be affected. So about in the next 50 minutes, it's going to make its way towards Horse Branch right now, Tell City in about 8 to 10 minutes. If you live in Ferdinand, you have right now to get inside before the storm. It's moving really, really quickly, so don't be fooled by these times. If you are seeing these communities and you say you live in English and it's going to be moving through in about a half an hour, you have probably about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure you get everything inside, because this storm is moving very, very quickly to the north and east around 80 miles an hour, and it has 80 mile an hour wind gusts with it. We're talking about the potential for very heavy rainfall, and a couple of minor spin-up tornadoes are not out of the equation for some of these communities. E-Town, you're going to be getting this line around 2:30, and here in Louisville around 2:45 this afternoon. So this storm system is going to be impacting a lot of us here in Kentucky, and it already is. The leading edge, the front line, is still getting its act together right now. There's still that active warning down to the south, towards Mumfordville, towards the Breckenridge County area, or Hart County, I should say, Greene County. That warning still goes for the next 10 minutes. We'll see if the National Weather Service extends that warning. But I'm more concerned about this severe thunderstorm warning that's underway for our western communities right now. This storm system is really packing a huge punch. Timing for New Albany right around the time that Louisville is projected to see these storms in the next hour. So we are expecting these severe thunderstorm warnings to hit Louisville in an hour from now. Please keep that in mind. It's going to make its way through here really quickly.
showers on the backside of that system. Also take
Louisville,
note,
Kentucky,
just by
Wolf to
backing
see
it
right
up
now.
a
These
couple
storms
hours
are
all
just
back
severe
into the
thunderstorm
right
warned.
now,
They're not tornado
you're
warned.
gonna have a
But even
surge
if
of
they
this
aren't tornado warned, you
warm
need to be
air
treating this like it
out
is a
ahead of this
tornado.
low line, and temperatures in the upper 60s near 70 degrees. It's been a pretty
Because
cool day
straight
for
line
many
wind gusts
locations,
that are
but
around 80
a
miles an hour are
surge of that
strong
warm
enough to
air
bring so
and
much
right
damage to an
behind that
area
squall line,
that a tornado
but
can do
we're
itself
gonna
as
have
well.
some
So,
really gusty
you know,
winds
regardless
and
of
a
it being a
drop in
tornado or
temperature by
straight line
about
wind,
20
it can
degrees.
still
So
bring a
3 o'clock,
huge amount of
still warm,
damage
but
to
you'll
the
notice here
area.
around 5, 6, we plummet down to
I'm going to show you
20
future
chill
casts so we get an
conditions
idea
on
of
the
the
way
track of
forward
this
this
storm
evening.
system
Factor
once
in
again.
winds, 50, 60 is going to feel a lot colder than that. Not that we should really be venturing out very much with those really gusty winds here this evening.
Hey Ben, we still have, Reed Gavin is now headed on the western side.
So again, around 2 o'clock here, 2:30 in Louisville, 3 o'clock or so.
Approaching them. We also
I'm
have
going to
Christina
go ahead
Sandoval.
and
She's
load
in
up the
east,
latest
and
model
she
data.
is at a flooded roadway on Frankfurt Avenue here in the metro area. If you'd like to be able to speak to either one of them.
Yeah, looks like we're with Christina. Christina San Juan, what are you seeing out there?
Okay, it looks like the new model is not quite in yet. But on future casts, we're still expecting these storms to make their way into highly populated areas here for Kentucky in about an hour. In about an hour, 45 minutes, as quick as E-Town, Brandenburg over the next 45 minutes. Again, these thunderstorms are making their way to the north and east around 80 miles an hour right now, and they have 80 mile an hour wind gusts with them as they're marching to the north and east. So if you live in our western communities towards the Grayson County area, Perry County, Breckenridge County, Meade County, this is where storms are really going to be pretty serious and packing quite the punch. 2:44 is the estimated time of arrival with these severe thunderstorm warnings here in Louisville. Brandenburg around 2:20, English just after 2:15, Litchfield around 2:10 Eastern, 1:10 Central. So if you live in Tell City, you do have about 8 minutes to make sure you get inside. Litchfield, you have about 20 minutes or so, but I wouldn't even risk it with this line of thunderstorms. So we are tracking a very potent line of thunderstorms as they're marching their way right over the I-165 corridor right now towards Beaver Dam, Lewisburg, Bowling Green, Hartford, Owensboro is where these severe thunderstorms are right now. If you have family or friends in Evansville, they actually just cleared a tornado warning. Princeton is in that tornado warning right now, just towards Petersburg, Indiana, just to the west of Jasper. Again, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning down to the south. That actually expires in about 8 minutes. We'll see if the National Weather Service does extend that warning. But those of you that do reside in E-Town right now, you are not in a warning, but it's likely you're going to be in an additional warning as that second line drifts in here pretty soon. Let's see if we have any new comments. Charlestown, Indiana with the second line. I would say around in the next hour and a half in Charlestown. That's when we really expect conditions to get pretty bad there, especially along the I-65 corridor in particular. Notice if you're tuning in from southern Indiana right now, you're finally getting a break from the rain. We saw 2.5 to 3.5 inches in Bedford, Mitchell, Paoli, Salem. You're getting a brief break, but we're expecting more of that here pretty soon. Flooding rains are taking over. We're talking about extremely strong wind, tornadoes.
Thank you, Christina.
We got it all today. I just stay inside right now. Tune into our show. We're live right now on WHS 11 with the latest updates. Ben and Alden are live on the air, and I'm live on Facebook Live with you, keeping you all updated on this storm. We are watching, of course, the tornado watch that is still in full force, 4-hour area. It does go until 5 o'clock this evening for all the counties in that lighter shaded red. Keep in mind. We have it looks like we now are clear from the flash flood warning here in Louisville, but notice all these severe thunderstorm warnings off to the west. Hardinsburg, Litchfield, Tell City, Jasper right now. I mean, the list goes on with our current severe thunderstorm warnings. And this is where we're really expecting conditions to get really bad with the second line that's getting its act together right now. I'll give you an idea quick of how much rain we picked up before I jump into the radar again and where we're getting the active warnings. This is how much rain we've seen already, 2.49 inches so far in Louisville. We have more on the way. So we're concerned about flooding rain. We're concerned about tornadoes. We're concerned about very strong wind. all of it. Just make sure you stay inside, ride this out. It's just not worth it to take risks in this line of thunderstorms right now. We're getting a lot of reports of flooded roadways across Kentucky and right now as well. So we're tracking everything at the time being. And again, this second line that we're watching is moving east-northeast around 80 miles an hour. It'll make its way into Louisville in the next 45 minutes. So please get to the lowest level of your home, even though there's not a tornado, or just get inside and seek shelter. You have a little bit of time if you reside in Kentuckiana, especially towards Brandenburg, Fort Knox, English, Jasper, to grab a couple of items that might be outside, Adirondack furniture, maybe you left a lawn chair outside, to bring it in just so it's not a hazard blowing around. Before we really see this line of storms rip into our area from the west right now. What's this purple here? It looks like we have another warning that is issued. An active tornado warning that is underway. Let me pop up some of the information on this. It's radar confirmed. Flying debris is going to be likely. Tree damage is going to be likely. Widespread damage, that is, off into extreme southern Indiana, towards the Evansville area. We're still noticing these showers and storms rumbling across Louisville. There's kind of a little bit of a batch to our southwest, so if you do reside towards Shively, maybe towards the I-64 corridor in the Floyd's Knobs area, you'll expect these thunderstorms here pretty soon. But again, the more potent line is down in the south towards Bardstown, right along that Bullitt County border with the Nelson County area right now. These storms are not severe, but you're probably hearing a lot of thunder and lightning if you're in Mount Washington, Taylorsville, Shelbyville. Would somebody call or email in or comment in earlier about LaGrange getting impacted by these storms, and even Newcastle? You're getting the showers and storms right now, and you're eventually going to be getting this batch down to the south, a lot heavier rainfall. But this is the one that we're really
draw your attention to some of these new cells that we have developing as well. And these are forming in areas.
This is one that we're really concerned about. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts is moving northeast at 65 miles an hour.
About the second line, we can still have something develop in that gap in the meantime, so that's why we're going to have to keep an eye on this. None of this is severe at the moment, but near Valley Station, just across the river there, to the west of Louisville, we're starting to see some new storms beginning to pop up fairly quickly, and they could continue to grow upstream as they continue to push off into the northeast fairly quickly. Don't have any new warnings in the south of the parkways there in the Hodgenville area. Just some.
So again, Ben and Alden are live right now on our channel, our WHS 11 channel, and they're keeping you updated on these severe thunderstorm warnings. We are expecting these severe thunderstorms to make their way right into our western communities here very soon. Tell City, Hardinsburg, Caneyville, Litchfield, Dale right now. Take a look at this line.
Can you try to go to Evansville radar, which is a little closer to that line, and just kind of inspect some of the wind speeds? So the Doppler radar, using the Doppler.
We're still looking at about 245 to 250 for an estimated time of arrival here in Louisville off some of these severe thunderstorm warnings. We're looking at English around 222, Litchfield around 112 Central. So in the next 15 minutes in the Litchfield area, Brandenburg 227, Caneyville, in about 5 minutes, we're expecting this line to rip into your area. You can expect rainfall rates up to about 1 inch per hour. You can expect straight line wind gusts of 80 miles an hour. And these storms are moving to the north and east around 80 as well. So the good news is they're moving very quickly, so you don't have to deal with it super long. The bad news is 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's going to bring destructive damage to a lot of areas. Trees are going to be down. We're talking power outages likely. That's why it's really important if you live in Hardinsburg, Brandenburg, Sonora, Mumfordville, Tell City right now. I would just make sure you're charging your devices. You have a means to keep yourself safe in the event that you lose power, because we are talking about power outages likely. We're talking about very heavy rainfall where flooding rain is going to be likely. So please seek higher ground if you reside in these flood warnings, and please use common sense with these showers and storms as they make their way through. Stay inside, ride this out, don't take any risks in these severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll put this in motion one more time so you get an idea of these storms as they're drifting to the east-northeast. There's so much energy in our atmosphere for these storms to really continue to ignite right now. I mean, notice this little blip just to the west of Louisville. It just popped up and it's already producing very heavy rain, making its way towards New Albany and Sellersburg right now.
Heading toward the Reading area at 1 o'clock.
A couple more comments and questions.
We're at 105.
Chris, yes, that bow is definitely going to be impacting Louisville here in the next 45 minutes.
At about 110, 115.
New Albany timing in the next half an hour to 45 minutes.
At about 115 Central Time.
Again, please, please, please use precaution with these severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll pop up the information on them. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2:30, so the next half an hour for our far western communities. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for the Greene and Hart County area is now expired, so that's really good news.
We've got a tornado watch until 5 p.m. for the bulk of our viewing area.
But this is that storm we are watching. It was issued in 20 minutes ago, and it goes for the next half an hour. If you live in any of these western communities, please use precaution. Get inside, seek shelter, stay away from windows, and ride this out as these storms drift to the east really quickly, around 80 miles an hour this evening. These are the watches we still have in full force, so if you live in that lighter red shaded color, you can expect tornadoes as we go about the remainder of the afternoon right now. This goes until 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So these storms are really packing a huge punch as they're drifting to the northeast right now, right around 80 miles an hour. So again, these storms are marching their way to the east-northeast very, very quickly this afternoon, and anybody that lives in those areas needs to seek shelter. We have that flood watch that's still in full force. But then again, here's radar a little bit closer. We're still watching rounds of showers and thunderstorms marching in from west to east right now. Here it is in motion a little bit closer. So the second line, I really think the second line is going to be overriding that first line relatively soon. Look at how quickly it's moving. But if you live in Louisville, Hardinsburg, Brandenburg, E-Town, this is where that line of the showers and storms is really going to come flying in here really quickly and really bring a huge punch of very strong wind gusts. We're going to be talking about a tornado or two and extremely heavy rainfall. It looks like we have a new warning issued down in the south right now. Litchfield, you're actually included in this severe thunderstorm warning. This goes for the next half an hour for your area. Just issued right now. So if you do live in that area, you can generally expect 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this and very heavy rainfall. I'm going to put up the time of arrival with these thunderstorms again.
When we can, and you can always give us reports too. We are also live streaming on YouTube and our Facebook streams with Storm Team meteorologist Sam Gabrielli. We've got crews out. We've got Storm Team meteorologist Reed Gaten out at Western Kentucky Parkway to head into that storm with Storm Chaser John Humpers. We've got Christina San Juan out in our First Alert Storm Team, the beach, checking on some flooding.
So there's the time of arrival on these severe thunderstorm warnings again as they continue to march their way to the east-northeast, right around 80 miles an hour. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts is going to bring destructive damage to a lot of folks. I mean, we're going to be talking about trees down. We're going to be talking about power outage is likely. I won't be surprised if street signs are going to be blown over. This is a very destructive storm system, and this line of thunderstorms has so much energy to it, and it's moving so quickly that it's going to be in your area for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and it is gone. In fact, there's so much energy with this system, the sun might be coming out like immediately after this line passes through. And that's a good or bad thing. The good news is with that, obviously it's drying out. The bad news is when you do get the sun out, we only are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's enough daytime heating for more energy in our atmosphere and more showers and storms to develop again. So this is something that is kind of a mechanism here. You get the sunshine, which is great, but it's still bad news in itself because then you get redevelopment of more showers and storms. The good news is right now we're not seeing any of that activity to our west, but there is going to be potential for that. And it looks like this flash flood warning is still extended for the English area just south of Paoli. That flash flood warning goes until 4:15 Eastern time. So it still goes for another hour 15 minutes or hour 10 minutes from now. So we are expecting conditions to really stay really wet. We're expecting very strong wind. Even if it's not storming for your area, the wind gusts are already starting to kick in. I'll have to try and pop up the wind gusts here to give you an idea of how strong the wind is outside.
Hopefully it's not trash day like it is in my house. Seymour, about 3 o'clock heading your direction, up in Jackson County. Brownstown,
Look at these wind gusts. We're already seeing wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour being detected in the E-Town, Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, Litchfield area. So these are non-thunderstorm wind gusts, keep in mind. So we're watching a very strong storm system, and we've already been picking up a lot of rain. It's just going to be a mess. There's already a lot of roadways that are impassable right now and waterlogged, so I would just stay home and ride this out.
Power outage is about 3,900. Now, Lena, is that in Metro Louisville? Okay, so LG&E power outages before the main event is up to about 4,000. So that's.
Excuse me, it looks like our weather graphics program froze momentarily here. Let me.
The ground is super saturated. It is just.
Let me see what I can do here.
Down there around the root systems of the trees. That even though the trees don't have leaves,
Okay, we're back.
fall,
My apologies. This is that storm system again. So it's marching its way to the northeast. This line is very, very serious looking. I mean, it's already making its way into our western communities as we speak. And it's going to make its way into Louisville here in the next half an hour to 45 minutes. Let me put the timing of this line of thunderstorms on the map here for you so you get an idea.
Hey Ben, look at those clouds on the MetroCam behind you. You can see just how quickly they're moving, and that's a good visual of how fast these wind speeds are above the surface when we're talking about 80 up to 100 miles per hour. So they are moving very, very quickly.
Look at this. There's the timing of these thunderstorms. Paoli in about 20 minutes. And that's an area that's been very waterlogged today. E-Town, 230. Louisville, 245 to 250. Madison, 310. Newcastle, 312. This line of storms has been consistent with how strong it's been and how quickly it's moving. We still have the active severe thunderstorm warning for the counties such as Breckenridge, Perry, Meade, Grayson, down towards the Du Bois, Orange County eventually. These all go, Crawford County, these, and even Perry County, these all go until the next 20 minutes, until 2:30 Eastern. We have another question about LaGrange. Yes, Joshua, LaGrange will get hit.
Yeah, and if you've never been in a strong tropical storm or like a weak category 1 hurricane, the conditions that we'll have out there at times, it'll be like that. Again, those clouds racing horizontal across the sky, and winds just above, say the trees, I mean not very far, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet, are going to be racing around 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. So there you see the big raindrops coming down right over Metro Louisville still. Very difficult driving conditions. Just not a real safe day to be outside. I would even avoid just kind of walking through the park.
Here's the line of showers and storms we're watching right now. Of course, this is the line. To the west, it goes till 1:30 Central this afternoon, down towards Hardinsburg, Brandenburg. Also, I'm going to pull up the storm relative velocity, and I'm going to show you the wind and how big of a concern the wind is right now. Let's put up velocity. So you can see where the straight line wind gusts are going to be a huge issue right now. Do you see where the reds do you see where the reds or that brighter green is right now? Caneyville, Litchfield. This is where the wind is really at its worst right now. Just south of Tell City to Caneyville. That's where we're watching the super strong wind gusts right now. This storm system is nothing to mess with. Please make sure you're getting inside, seeking shelter immediately, and really taking this seriously. These storms again are moving really, really quickly to the north and east around 80 miles an hour, and it's only going to be a matter of time before we deal with them here in Louisville. About another 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to be dealing with these severe thunderstorm warnings here in Metro Louisville, Corydon, Sellersburg, Scottsburg. A lot of our Indiana communities are already noticing that line of showers and storms. Off to the east, these are not severe.
What we call gradient winds.
They're packing a pretty big punch, but they're not severe. Just expect heavy rainfall with these storms, a lot of lightning and thunder. We're watching a little bit of a cell as it's pushing its way into the Shelby County area, Spencer County right now. These storms are not severe, but they're producing heavy rainfall. I-71 as well. Please refrain from travel. I know a lot of roads and streets, even interstates, are seeing waterlogged right now. Hydroplaning is going to be possible if you're not careful.
Here's an updated rainfall map for you. Over 3 inches, at least in Huntingburg. And remember, these are just the locations that actually have a rain gauge. Your neighborhood or some other smaller areas could easily have well over this amount of rainfall. At least 2.71 inches of rain here in Metro Louisville. You can see how much less there is as you head further south. I'll pop back up the warnings map so we can see that exact area that I was mentioning for that flash flood warning that's been extended until 4:15 p.m.
We just got a message about the sun coming up in Clarksville. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, there's enough energy going on in the atmosphere for the sun to pop out, and unfortunately, that just continues to fuel our atmosphere for more showers and storms that are going to be turning severe. So please be careful. It's misleading when the sun comes out like that, because it does mean more of a hazard and a risk for the severe weather once we get into the latter stages of the afternoon.
And regarding that line of storms that we're still waiting for, it's really pushing into Du Bois County now, Ben. I would not be surprised if they extend that severe thunderstorm warning here momentarily.
Again, Ben and Alden are live on WHS 11 right now, so you have two means to get your information on these severe thunderstorms as they make their way in from our west right now. One of them is live on TV, and one of them is here on Facebook Live. And if you have questions, please go ahead. Please go ahead and ask them. Throw them my direction. I'll try my best to answer them. A lot of it has to do with the timing of these storms. They are marching their way to the east-northeast around 80 miles an hour.
Just east of Santa Claus, Indiana, and Holiday World. And then down here in Breckenridge County, you've got the line moving into your direction.
Here's the line again. 2:48 we're expecting them here in Louisville, so in about 35 minutes we're expecting this line of showers and storms to roll through, and it's going to get pretty serious pretty quickly. We're talking about the ideal situation for, they're not ideal, but the atmosphere is giving way to the likelihood of some power outages. We're going to be talking about heavy rainfall that it's going to be bringing localized flooding, and we'll be talking about the potential for a tornado.
Tornado warning there. It looks like it's popped up in our viewing area, likely for that line. Yeah, so that's clipping Crawford County.
And like Ben just mentioned on air, we have a new tornado warning that is popping up as well. Du Bois County towards Patoka Lake, Paoli right now. This tornado warning goes until 2:45 Eastern Standard Time. If you live in this area, Patoka Lake, Jasper, Ferdinand, please seek shelter. Get to the lowest level of your home right now and treat this very, very seriously. Grab your severe weather awareness kit, batteries, flashlight, candles, whatever means you need to protect yourself. This goes until 2:45 this afternoon, and that does impact the counties such as Du Bois, Crawford, we're talking about Hancock County, and then again towards the Perry County area. Even Orange County is affected by this. French Lick, Paoli, English, please use precaution right now. I'll give you an idea of where the tornado is right now. So Doppler radar is estimating right in this Huntingburg area. This is where rotation is being detected in this tornado warning right now. Right along US Highway 231, just south of Jasper. You'll notice it kind of marching its way to the north and east right now. So this is where that tornado warning is underway. If you live in Du Bois County right now, you need to get to the lowest level of your home, seek shelter immediately. If you live in a mobile home, don't even stay in your mobile home. That's one of the most dangerous places to be. Go into a ditch or a low-lying spot and cover yourself in blankets if you can. This is a very serious line of thunderstorms. And again, it is tornadic, so we have that tornado warning that is posted for the area.
Heading your way at about 2:30.
It's radar indicated, so we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but it's moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. Counties or cities that are going to be impacted by this include Huntingburg, Tazewell, Mentor, Du Bois, Hillham, Celestine, Birdseye, French Lick, and Eckerty. So please use common sense. Get to the lowest level of your home right now. Seek shelter immediately. As this tornado warning is marching its way to the north and east right now, relatively quickly. Here's the reflectivity on it again, so back to the normal radar, and you get an idea of where that circulation is. We're pretty concerned about this portion of the storm, and it's going to be rain wrapped, and what that means is it's so hard to see where the tornado is as it's marching its way to the northeast because the wind is so strong and there's so much heavy rain that it's difficult to tell where the tornado actually is when the storm is moving through, so please keep that in mind. We got a report of the sun is out in E-Town.
This is radar indicated. We do not
So it's going to be continuing to kind of fuel our atmosphere for more energy and more chances for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms as we go about the remainder of the afternoon.
About 10 minutes from the Du Bois County. So I know you can be nervous, you can be a bit fearful, but this won't take long as you seek shelter immediately.
That's the good news. These storms are marching their way to the northeast relatively quickly, so you won't have to deal with these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings too long, but it can catch you off guard, right? They're moving their way really quickly to the northeast, and if you're not too cautious, they can really sneak up on you very, very quickly. So it's imperative that you treat these very seriously, get to the lowest level of your home. We're getting a lot of reports as well about the sun coming out in between these two lines of thunderstorms right now. Fort Knox, you might have seen a little bit of sunshine, maybe even E-Town right now. That's only going to continue to fuel the atmosphere for more of these storms to really wreak havoc as they make their way to the north and east. Take a look at this line here. I'll put the estimated time of arrival on it for you a little bit closer. Louisville, just after 2:45, we're still expecting this line of potentially tornadic storms to march into our area. Patoka Lake, right now, that tornado is knocking on your doorstep 5 minutes from now. Please, if you live in Patoka Lake, get inside your home, get to the basement right now. We're getting a report of it getting brighter in LaGrange right now. That's because that line of thunderstorms that we were dealt with earlier is marching its way away from us, and we're already kind of noticing that the atmosphere is kind of giving a lot of its energy over to the second line of thunderstorms right now.
That distance will be made up here, I'd say, the next.
Here's that tornado warning a bit closer again. This is a very serious situation. If you live in Patoka Lake, this goes until the next 25 to 30 minutes, 2:45 Eastern Standard Time. It's set to finally expire. From Ferdinand towards Jasper, towards the Patoka Lake area, this is where conditions are getting very serious. French Lick, this is a very serious line of thunderstorms. We're watching a tornadic signature in this line of storms too.
English, Patoka Lake, Paoli, French Lick. Please be seeking shelter at this time.
I mean, take a look at this.
Heading your direction, right on the
trying to get you a good idea of where the circulation in this tornado warning is. The reason the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning on this storm is we're already kind of noticing circulation right over the Jasper area. Anywhere where you notice the reds and the greens converging, that is where we're getting the likelihood of seeing the kind of circulation in the storm and the spin in the atmosphere and for tornadoes to form. So please take this seriously if you live in these areas. Central Du Bois County right now, towards French Lick, as this line is going to march its way to the north and east. So this is a very serious matter. Please use precautions if you live in these areas. Don't even take risks in these tornado warnings. And again, the tornado warning goes for the counties of Du Bois, towards the Orange County area, Crawford, Perry County included, as it's marching its way in southern Indiana right now. And it's radar indicated. That means that there's no confirmed tornado. The radar is indicating rotation in the storm, but please, it's only a matter of seconds before a tornado does occur with that tornado warning. I'm going to pop up regular reflectivity so you get an idea of the showers and storms again for the area. If you live across, looks like east of I-65 right now, you're mainly watching just a solid line of thunderstorms right now. None of them are severe, but there's a lot of lightning being detected up by the Newcastle area, LaGrange, Shelbyville, Frankfort.
We have had no injuries so far. So thankful as we see this.
But if you look off to the west, there's that line of very serious thunderstorms right now. There's a tornado warning with that.
Also, as far as rescues are concerned, they're really describing them more of assisting people. They've been helping people get out of some of the cars that are in the area that have gone into high water. You've been seeing that here on our WHS 11 news coverage throughout the afternoon.
So now if you're tuning into WHS 11, we have Doug Profit in studio giving more of an update when it comes to the news perspective of these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that are currently impacting much of Kentuckiana right now.
It drained away. So despite the heavy rain coming down so far, we've had no injuries, we've had no loss of life, and right now we are just waiting for this next system to come in, which then I know we've also been in touch with the folks talking to Western Kentucky. They have a lot of tree damage there. Evansville is reporting that as well. There was a possible tornado there. They're trying to, really confirm whether that is the case. So. Good news at the moment for Louisville, but as you're saying, where are we now, Ben?
So again, this tornado warning is marching to the northeast around 60 miles an hour if you live in Patoka Lake, Paoli, English, Palmyra. This is the timing of the storms. Bedford 242, Starlight around 253 as these storms are marching their way to the northeast around 60 miles an hour right now.
We could have a little spin-up tornado. So we really got to watch that very closely. Like we just saw here.
Paige asking about Elizabethtown. Yes, if you live in E-Town, you're going to get the same line of thunderstorms. Luckily, there's no tornado warning for the E-Town area included, but these storms are starting to kind of originate to your south and west right now. So you're about to get batch number 2 of these storms from the afternoon hours. And of course, early this morning we had the steady rainfall, and now you're likely going to be picking up bouts of heavy storms again here pretty soon. There's a new warning issued actually just to the west of Louisville. This actually includes Floyd County, or no, not Floyd County, it includes the Harrison County area. So if you live in Harrison County towards Brandenburg, Corden, this warning actually goes for the next 40 or 35 minutes. It expires at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I would say the National Weather Service will go ahead and issue an additional warning for Louisville here pretty soon on these lines of storms as they're marching their way to the south, or from the south and west to the north and east right now. If you live in Brandenburg, you have a little bit of time to get your vehicle in the garage, maybe bring some Adirondack furniture inside, bring the lawn chairs inside. You have a little bit of time to do just that, but this storm is really marching its way to the east, northeast very, very quickly this afternoon. Here's a tornado warning was still in full force. For those of you that live in Orange County, Du Bois County, towards Perry County or Crawford County right now. So this is a very impactful storm system, and it's nothing to mess with. We're going to continue to talk about a tornado threat for southern Indiana. Please get to the lowest level of your home. If you live in these areas, grab flashlight, batteries, candles, non-perishable food items, snacks, whatever means you need, because God forbid this tornado does bring a lot of extensive damage to your home and you can't get safety or shelter or even help for a long amount of time. You need to make sure you're keeping yourself safe and have enough means to get through time with the storm passing through. So please use precaution if you live in this area. Let me try and pull up our velocity scan so we get an idea of where exactly the spin is going on from radar being indicated with this storm. And it looks like we're noticing it more towards the Jasper area, just to the north and east of Jasper. Let me kind of circle the area of concern we have with this tornado warning. Just to the west of Patoka Lake, just to the northeast of Jasper, that is where the reds and the greens are coming together. That's where we get the change in direction and speed on radar with the winds. So that's where we get that center of circulation, which is going to give way to a possible tornado
Can you point that out again, please?
with this tornado warning that is underway for the Du Bois County area, Orange County, Crawford County. The storm system is packing a huge punch right now as it's making its way to the north and east with time.
Any debris that might be associated with the squall line would be moving very, very rapidly.
We have Christina San Juan here to my left. Christina, just so Facebook Live viewers know, what did you see out there when you were out chasing these storms? Were there any significant flood?
Hey Sam, hey guys, I hope everybody's staying safe and certainly heeding the warnings that we have been seeing really over the course of, 2 hours now. I was just driving around in our Storm Chaser Beast vehicle, kind of just monitoring the flooding since we have meteorologist Reed Yaden further on to the south. I was in southern Indiana. There wasn't major issues, Sam. Like, there was a lot of ponding on the roads. I don't even want to call it ponding because I feel that does an injustice to what I was actually seeing. There was a lot of pooled up water, I'll say. Nothing was completely washed out, at least not in southern Indiana that we came across, but there was certainly some water over the roadways, lots of creeks. Of course, in southern Indiana, there's just a ton of creeks, especially when you start to go to the back roads, that were starting to pool over the road. So if I were to go at this point, I'm sure they would be worse because we were there right around noon, so just about 2 hours ago. Beyond that, we came to Louisville and went on Frankfurt Avenue. We know that that's a street that's constantly flooding, or it's very prone to flash flooding, I should say. The drainage system there is pretty slow to actually go down, and there was water blocking the road, or just completely covering the road. It was impossible to see just how deep it was until these cars started to drive through it. They decided to take the risk. It worked out for most of them. It did not work out for one vehicle. It was a sedan that got stuck. The engine started smoking.
Oh my goodness.
Because they didn't make it, yes. So fortunately there was somebody else that had pulled over and they actually pushed the vehicle out while she steered it. Just a very dangerous situation that we always say turn around, don't drown for a reason, because just so many weather related deaths occur in flooded waters, and that's exactly why. Just because the truck in front of you made it doesn't mean that your sedan's going to make it. So thankfully she was okay. She got out of there just fine, but like I said, you just never know just how deep that water actually is. So it's just not worth the risk. I mean,
Right.
what's it take to just turn around and use an alternate route, especially when you're around downtown Louisville? There's so many different ways you can go.
You can easily damage your vehicle, and you can easily damage, obviously, yourself. God forbid. I mean, you just don't know what's in a flooded roadway, so it's just best to just not even go that route.
Exactly, especially, I mean, there could be debris. You never know if there's some sort of power line or electrical cord there.
Exactly.
So stepping in it, the Good Samaritan, I will call him,
Yeah.
that pushed her out, did take a chance doing that. But so now, just because this woman decided to drive through it and she got stuck, she's now putting herself and other strangers in harm's way, right?
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Because the stranger came and pushed her out and risked himself potentially by doing so.
So it's best just not even to do it, because you're
Exactly.
risking everything. You're risking yourself. You're risking other people. You're risking
Right.
your property. Yeah.
It's best just not to take the chance. So we stayed there until the water receded.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
and then so now we're back here, of course, just to kind of keep Ben, you, and Alden updated. And so I'm going to roll over here and see if there's any updates from the National Weather Service, and then I'll relay them to you guys as they come in.
Sounds great.
I'll be
Sounds
right
great.
over here.
Sounds great. Yeah, we still have the active warnings that are underway. The tornado warning still goes for the Perry County area, Du Bois, Orange, Crawford.
Eastern time. Have not
So we're
seen
still concerned about that
reports of
potential
any
tornado right over Patoka Lake right now.
area in particular
Um, I'll give you an idea of where this storm is heading, this tornado warning.
position, and I'll throw our scope back on here to see.
If you live in this area, it's very important you get to the lowest level of your home. Don't even mess with this storm system as it's marching its way to the north and east around 65 miles an hour right now.
Red, which indicates some rotation, so if there was going to be a little spin-up tornado, it would probably be in one of those two locations. So if you're near the Patoka Lake area, you should already be in your safe spot, lowest level, most interior portion, whatever building you're in, away from outside walls and windows. No confirmed tornado with this, but we're still not going to be taking the chance with it, as we are seeing those possibilities.
Patoka Lake, you need to be getting to the lowest level of your home right now. French Lick, Paoli, it's eyeing your area very soon. If you live along Indiana 145, Indiana Highway 37, even towards Paoli and US Highway 150, this is going to be moving through here very, very soon. Livonia, Campbellsburg, Orangeville, Mitchell, Bono, just to the west of Salem. That's where it's looking likely that this potential tornado is moving through. Mitchell as well. The good news is, again, this line's moving very, very quickly, so really isn't going to be impacting your area for too long. But this is just still nothing you want to take a risk with. It also can catch you off guard immediately if this moves through. We're continuing to watch this line of showers and storms originating down by the Radcliffe area, E-Town, Sonora. The National Weather Service might issue a new warning down at the south. We'll see what happens. But if you're tuning in from Brandenburg right now, Irvington, Fort Knox Valley Station, here's that line of storms eyeing Louisville right now. It's not tornadic, but it is severe thunderstorm warned. If you live in Irvington, Brandenburg, Alton, Palmyra, Sellersburg, so that line is right now. We have a couple more showers and storms to the east. They are not severe, but if you reside along I-65, Mount Washington, Taylorsville, Bardstown, you're still continuing to get heavy bouts of rainfall. Again, this is that tornado warning a little bit closer. We don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but if you live in Patoka Lake right now, French Lick, Paoli, along Indiana 145 in particular, this storm is paralleling the highway. It's making its way towards Orleans, Orangeville, Paoli, Youngs Creek here very soon, Chambersburg, right along US Highway 150. That's where we're expecting that tornado to be happening very soon, because again, this warning goes until the next 40 or 15 minutes, but the storm is ripping to the northeast at 65 miles an hour. It's moving very, very quickly right now. So just please be in your safe spot. Lowest level of your home, obviously, basement if you have one. And just grab blankets, grab a flashlight, grab batteries, whatever you have means to, just in case the power goes out as well. Keep yourself safe during the evolution of this tornado warning. Hardinsburg around 2:45 you can expect, Indiana that is, around 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. Paoli 2:38 English, 2:34 Bono just shy of 2:50. So again, here's all these thunderstorms we're watching right now. They're marching their way to the east-northeast. So we still have that tornado warning that's in effect for southern Indiana. Eventually, Bedford, you're going to be included in this tornado warning. Lawrence County, Washington County likely, towards Salem. It's steering its way away from Louisville, but it's only a matter of time before we deal with some showers and storms down by E-Town that are going to march their way into Metro Louisville rather soon. Getting reports out of the wind picking up in Meade County. That's the other thing too. We're talking about storms right now, but everybody seems to forget about the strong wind gusts. We're going to be getting wind gusts very, very strong with the evolution of this whole storm system.
And see how close some of these storms are to Metro Louisville. You see they are now moving into Meade County. Anywhere along this line would not
Yes, that storm down by Litchfield right now is likely going to be hitting E-Town.
Thankfully, the tornado threat has been limited so far. I think it's going to be a weak.
It is a little bit weaker, so it's not severe thunderstorm warned, but it is something we are watching closely. Let me look off to the west to see if we're getting into redevelopment of showers and storms. Looks like we're trying to get a little bit of some storms that are trying to get their act together west of Evansville, but I don't see that being too big of an issue, so that's good news. So, you know, the reason why I'm showing you Western Kentucky's radar is because we're not getting suggestions that there's more storms developing off to the west, so that's some good news. But these storms are
We'll take
really
back
packing a
down to
huge punch.
Breckenridge County because I'm getting multiple reports now of damage in Breckenridge County. Multiple trees down in Hardinsburg, specifically at 2nd Street in town. Also a report of trees down all over Highway 86 in the Stinnettsville community, also in Breckenridge.
So again, Ben Pine and Alden German
Here,
are
we're
live
seeing
right
a
now
lot of tree
on
damage.
WHS
A lot
11,
of
giving
trees
further
being blown
updates.
over
We have a lot of
Hubbard
damage
from this
reports coming in. Let me
storm.
load up some of these damage
And
reports
just for
really
the
quick.
record, that line has passed through Breckenridge County, so these are all delayed reports, and we might very well be seeing these same kind of reports coming out of Harrison County in Indiana and in Meade County as it gets ready to blow through those locations.
And there's no doubt about it, there's gonna be a lot of power outages.
Here's some of
with
those
this.
damage reports.
And
We have a lot
that's
of
the southern
thunderstorm
end
damage,
of the
trees
squall
down,
line. So this is gonna be
power
a little more
lines down
powerful.
here in the
You're gonna want to
Owensboro
move
area.
through, Breckenridge
We have
County.
a lot of reports
So
here
Breckenridge
along
County, yeah, you're
west
in
and
the
north of
clear as far
Louisville
as
in
the
southern
severe
Indiana
weather
of a lot of
right
flash
now.
flooding.
But I do want to remind you,
Just to the
could
southwest
still
of
be
Valley
50 to
Station, we
65
have
mile-per-hour winds that
flash
come in
flooding on Union
shortly
Chapel
behind
Road.
that. The jet stream is still really powerful all the way through this evening, and we're going to have the potential of damaging winds for quite some time. High wind warning continues until 10 p.m. So this is getting closer to Metro Louisville. We do have a strong thunderstorm here over.
So here's the plethora of all these showers and storms again. You can see these storms are kind of reigniting on eastern Louisville right now. They're not severe, but they're marching into the Anchorage neighborhood, Prospect right now, Buchel, Goshen, just to the west of LaGrange. Travel along I-71 is going to be limited, to say the least. We're talking about very heavy rain impacting that area as we speak. Bardstown just to your north, Lebanon, Waynesburg. But again, the main concern right now for the next 10 minutes is the tornado warning that is underway for southern Indiana. They're likely going to be canceling this warning very soon as the storm is marching out of the polygon that was issued by the National Weather Service. But again, that warning goes for much of the Orange County area. It's actually in Orange County right now, the potential tornado, as it's marching its way to the northeast around 65 miles an hour. So this is a very, very strong storm, and it is tornadic. So this is something that you don't want to be messing with as it's marching to the northeast. Got a report of the sun shining bright in Shepherdsville.
And West Baden Springs as well. That's going to be cruising northeast around 70 miles per hour.
Meade County wind is picking up.
Also, the threat exists here in Crawford County. Stay in your place of shelter around English and the rest of Crawford County. Get ready, Harrison County. You're under that severe thunderstorm warning that's heading directly towards Portland over the next few minutes.
Then I have some power outage. I have some power outage numbers. Lena Duncan, our executive producer, just provided these to me. Lena, if you could also maybe get that map up on the Web3 computer if possible, so we can show those in particular. But LG&E reporting 8,763 customers without power.
8,000 folks are now without power from LG&E. So keep that in mind. Power outages are going to be possible for your area, so it's really important that you are being proactive, charging your devices just in case the power goes out for your neck of the woods as well, because wind is going to be very, very strong with this storm system.
How many?
14. Louisville's does no.
Just 14,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
That's LG's service area.
okay. So to be absolutely clear, in the metro area, only 14 power outages. But you can see on the map now, most of those power outages in the state are in the western half of Kentucky, where they did have the strongest wind speeds moving through not too long ago, and that's totaling up to
We have
about
a couple of
75,000
cells producing severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. We have the tornado warning that is underway just southwest of Paoli. That goes until 3 o'clock. These severe thunderstorm warnings do. They're likely going to be extended for the area. One of them is just posted to the west here of Louisville, towards Harrison County right now, Floyd County eventually. You're going to be included in this severe thunderstorm warning. Almost getting into Jefferson County here pretty soon as well.
In case a new one needs issuing. So been some good news there, a lot of developments coming in at the moment, and we're still seeing some of those very high wind speeds and continuing to get reports of tree damage and power outages across the entire, really across the western half of the state, west of I-65. So we'll have to keep a close eye on anything that could occur here in the metro area. And although we don't have any warnings in Metro Louisville, we do still have some very heavy rain that's moving into the east end at the moment. If we can take that radar.
Here's the storm relative velocity on this tornado warned storm. So the area of circulation that we're most concerned about right now is to the south of French Lick. This tornadic area is marching to the northeast towards French Lick and eventually towards US Highway 150 relatively soon. So the tornado warning is mainly included in the Orange County area for the next 5 minutes, and it's going to be continuing for the next 5 minutes for Orange County. It'll be a matter of time before this tornado does march its way to the north here. Paoli, Orangeville, Livonia, Patoka Lake, you're in the clear now. English, you're basically in the clear. Bird's Eye as well. I'll put on reflectivity so you get an idea of the timing of the storm as it's marching its way to the north and east.
And we'll take that up to the northeast, and we'll give you an idea when it may be heading into your community. So heading toward Bedford, Indiana at about 2:45, just about 5 minutes, heading into Brownstown as we approach 3 o'clock, into Louisville for 3 o'clock, into Anchorage, the east end of Louisville at around 3:05, 3:10, Madison, Indiana.
So there it is, Paoli to Mitchell, Bedford, Campbellsburg, Medora. There's the timing of this tornado warned storm as it's marching northeast.
If you want to show folks just how much rain we've had here,
Yeah.
the storm reports graphic. We had some reports
Look at
over
this.
5 inches in Jasper, Indiana.
Wow, look at these rain reports coming in so far. Jasper, 5.32 inches. Du Bois, 3.11. All these totals, of course, coming in over the past 10 minutes. So we still have more rain to deal with. Believe it or not, Huntingburg, 3.09 inches. Ferdinand, 3.61. So a lot of these are coming out of Indiana so far. A lot of our Kentucky communities have been picking up between 2 to 3 inches, with more on the way, obviously. We have that second line of thunderstorms. Here's a bigger look at the broad picture with our airports across the region and what we've been noticing. 2.71 in Louisville, 3.07 in Huntingburg, Corden, 2.69, Jeffersonville, 2.27 inches.
Hold on, let's put on velocity there because I see that little
There's a little notch right there to the southeast of New Amsterdam. Maybe a little bit of rotation. There's going to be little notches along this whole area, no doubt about that. And there we can see that the severe thunderstorm warning continues over Harrison County, and that will likely
So
be expanded
Ben and Alden were just mentioning that we have a little bit of a
here very shortly as
notch
well.
going on, which is an area of concern possibly
Show the broader view. We have that tornado watch that continues
for rotation. If you live in the Leavenworth right now, that's where we're kind of concerned about a little bit of a possible rotation in this severe thunderstorm warning. That's not tornadic, but it's kind of just an area, Christina, that we're watching closely.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep a very close eye on that. Now Sam continues to dissect that. I just wanted to read off a few of these damage reports here as we're...
Ask Will to type my show.
Yes, okay. Here,
Yeah.
I'm going to pass this over on my
Sure.
phone over to Sam because I'm going to go relay a message for Ben Pine real quick. But just a couple reports of
Yeah.
different trees down.
Perfect.
And there's actual power lines down.
Okay, great. Yeah, power outages being reported in areas of Du Bois County.
And
We've
that's from the National Weather Service.
Okay, great. All these are coming from the Weather Service. We have a tree on a house through the roof on Meadow Street in Irvington. Power lines down across Highway 60 in Irvington. So Irvington, it sounds like there's a lot of issues when it comes to our damage. Power outage in Fordsville. Trees down on Tar Hill in eastern Grayson County. Part of my neighbor's roof is gone as well. Metal siding. I'm going to see if there's any structural damage coming from that area. So we have a lot going on here. We have a tornado warning. We have several damage reports coming in. Trees down in a lot of spots. It's just a very impactful storm system right now, and there's just so much energy that the storm has to work with. So this is a huge concern.
Yeah, it's ragged. There's little notches here and there, and that can produce little split-up tornadoes. You see that kind of Boeing segment here.
So in about 2 minutes, they're going to go ahead and either cancel this warning or extend it, the tornado warning that is underway for the Orange County area. Please use precautions if you live in this area right now. The storm is moving northeast around 65 miles an hour. It's packing a huge punch as it does so. 70 miles an hour, that is. Radar indicated rotation in this storm: French Lick, Greenbrier, Hillham, Ethel, Pine Valley, Norton, French Lick, Airport, and Youngs Creek is all going to be affected by this tornadic storm as it's marching its way to the north and east right now.
Rainfall, yes, heavy rain coming down over Oldham County, but there's no warnings on that. This is what we're waiting on. This is the main show. It's beginning to move into southwestern Washington County very soon. Again, tree damage likely, power outage is likely over Orange County. Now heading towards Mitchell and Lawrence
I'm going
County.
to step aside real quick here, Christina. Do you mind?
Please be seeking shelter if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. The winds that are being produced out of this very strong line of storms capable of producing EF0.
Hey guys, Sam's going to
which can definitely
run to the other room real quick, so I'm meteorologist Christina Sanwa. I'm going to take over really quick so we can make sure we're keeping you informed every step of the way here with that latest warning that has come out that has now appeared to have been canceled here. But this entire line, whether it's tornadic or not, it still has the capability of producing the same sort of damage that a weak tornado could with the kind of wind that we're talking about here. It can be extremely damaging. So we're still keeping a very close eye on the Paoli area, just past you folks around French Lick, I should say, headed toward Hardensburg. So we'll stretch all the way down to Palmyra to New Salisbury, and that's where the storm is heading to at this point. So folks that are just ahead of this line also need to be making sure that you have a safe plan in place at this time and somewhere to go in case there is a warning that is sent out for you. So we're going to continue to dissect this while I check with the National Weather Service to make sure that there hasn't been any other reports coming in, because we have seen significant damage here just in the last couple of minutes with that line of storms that's pushing on through. And this has been what we've been talking about for several days now, and why we've really just been harping on the potential of these storms to be damaging, not just any sort of tornadoes, but the incredibly strong wind has that potential to be just as damaging as a tornado could be. So Sam, that's what I was talking about, is just with wind this strong, could produce the same amount of damage as a tornado could. So whether or not there's a tornado warning, I say treat it as one.
Oh, 100%.
I know a lot of these have been radar indicated tornadoes, as opposed to, oh, someone's actually seeing it on the ground. But like Ben's been saying at the wall as well, it really doesn't matter, because with this sort of wind, you're talking about potential significant damage out there.
Yeah, the impact is nuts because these storms are moving so quickly anyway. They're moving between 60 to 70 miles an hour north and east, Christina. So that's where like the big concern is. Like, the good news is you don't deal with it too long, the storm itself.
Exactly.
But it does catch you off guard, right? Because it's moving so quickly.
Right. It is just racing across Kentucky and off to the northeast at this point.
Yes.
I haven't been in studio much of today, so I'm just getting caught up on this entire line and what all it's doing. So you said it has been producing 60 to 70.
Yep, and these storms, since when you're out in the beast, they were recorded in southern Kentucky and moving northeast at 90 miles an hour.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and as we've been saying, that's almost like a tropical storm system. That, along with the incredible low pressure that we've had, I think Ben said it was top 10 for the lowest pressure that he's seen here, and just the incredible strength that we were anticipating and what we're actually seeing at this point is just through the roof, for lack of a better term.
So it looks like is this the far western tier of Jefferson County is in a severe thunderstorm warning, if I'm reading this right?
Let me see what the National Weather Service is saying.
Yeah, this does include downtown Louisville. We're actually in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. So if you do live in Louisville right now, you can expect pretty strong wind gusts here pretty soon, 60 to 70 miles an hour. If you live in Louisville or points south and west in particular, that's where we are watching the very strong wind gusts. So I'm going to go back into what we're watching right now. So this line of storms is marching its way to the northeast around 60 to 70 miles an hour. I'll go ahead and put kind of a timestamp on this so you know when we can expect these severe storms here in Louisville.
Close to Metro Louisville really quickly. So it looks like it's right towards the casino, and there's Valley Station, there's Shively, and it's moving through Corden right now. There's Elizabeth, Indiana.
Crestwood, 315, so our far northwestern areas. Louisville just before 3 o'clock, I do think, if not 3 exactly. New Albany, 255. Valley Station, 253. Fern Creek, 305. So it's marching its way really quickly to the east-northeast right now.
Also, you can see that we have portions of Louisville now under the severe thunderstorm warning. That includes, it looks like downtown Louisville, Shively, all towards the west end, and down towards PRP Valley Station. And this will likely be expanded to the east over the next few minutes as well.
E-Town, Fort Knox, there's a couple more cells developing down at the south right now. They're not severe, but they are existing for sure. We do have, the severe thunderstorm warnings all across southern Indiana, but we're mainly concerned about this line 2 here approaching our densely populated area. Shively, Valley Station, these storms are right on your doorstep right now. Elizabeth, Indiana, Pleasure Ridge Park here pretty soon. Lanesville, right now you're dealing with some heavy showers and storms. There's going to be a lot of lightning with this line. We're going to be talking about strong wind gusts. They have had a history of producing some damaging wind gusts with them. We've seen a lot of storm reports coming in, storm damage reports.
You can also turn on the local storm reports and
Yep.
kind of go one by one with those, because I'm sure there's been quite a few that have come in just in the last couple of minutes. More and more.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, these
more and
might be
more
new
reports
ones.
coming in.
This is, this one's from earlier, flash flooding on Union Chapel Road. Since midnight, there was heavy rain last night. Flash flooding occurring near Middletown. We have another storm damage report of flash flooding on John Pechtel Road and Hamby Road. We have a report of some damage here, water flowing over Lakeside Drive in Sellersburg. So a lot of these reports came in from very early this morning. We'll be gathering more details on some of these new damage reports as we go about the rest of the afternoon. But right now, this is something you obviously want to be taking very seriously. We're talking about widespread, very strong wind gusts here. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings are underway. Look at this big polygon, anywhere from Bloomington, Indiana, stretching all the way back into downtown Louisville. That's the most recent severe thunderstorm warning, going until 3:15 Eastern Standard Time. That is the warning, at least. So it's marching north and east around 60 to 70 miles an hour. The storm itself, the actual wind gusts with the storm, you can expect around 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts as these storms make their way to the north and east with time.
Farther off to the south, closer to the area of low pressure is where we're seeing some of the stronger winds. You can see that arcing.
So the low pressure is right here, placed over the Indiana-Illinois border. It'll only be a matter of time before the low makes its way over our area and brings very strong wind gusts for the region. We're going to watch the cell a little close towards the Jasper-Patoka Lake area. There's another one trying to get its act together. It's not severe, but we'll have to see if that does anything. Otherwise, this cell you see down towards the Lebanon Junction area, Shepherdsville, that one's going to march its way up I-65 here pretty soon, and will bring the likelihood of some showers and storms across Bullitt County and southern Jefferson County here pretty soon. Valley Station, you're picking up these storms, Corden, Palmyra, New Albany, Sellersburg, Pekin, Henryville. Brandenburg.
And then eventually from Scottsburg to Salem, you get Highway 56, so it's going to be heading over all these areas. And
Fort Knox, you're kind of in the clear. There's kind of a cell to your south in Radcliffe, but looks like that storm is kind of missing you to the north. We have another report of more blue sky and sunshine in Clarksville,
as far as severe weather, let's look
which
on
is
the
good.
back side of this line and see who's in the clear for the moment. So the storms have now passed through Paoli and French Lick. It is now to the east of English. That real threatening line is now moved east of you guys in Jasper. The warnings are over for you. Perry County now is out of the way of the tornado damage and the straight line winds. And it looks like you're
I'll guide you into futurecast for the rest of the afternoon here. So obviously right now we are dealing with these extreme showers and storms that are making their way across southern Indiana and much of Louisville. They'll march to the north with time, and we expect conditions to really quiet down by about 5 o'clock today, which is ideal. Maybe as early as 4:30 across the board, so that's some good news. We still have the active tornado watch that is in effect. We don't have a tornado warning right now. It looks like if you live in Grayson County, that's actually been canceled for your area, which is good news. But we still have the watch until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here across the region. We're still watching active storms right now, but they aren't tornadic, but they are severe, especially in southern Indiana and extreme northern northwestern areas of Jefferson County.
New power outage numbers for you, as it also appears that part of the tornado watch has been trimmed. So that's an important thing for us to look at. Grayson County no longer in the tornado watch. The tornado watch has ended. The tornado watch is still in effect for all these counties shaded there in that pink until 5 p.m. As for some of those new power outage numbers for the LG&E coverage
I
area,
know
a
it's
little
just
over
outside of our
6,000.
area, but Franklin has been coming in with several reports.
Okay,
They just
so
said
I just
the
have a
glass
new
was
update
blown
there,
out
so I
of the
stopped
tractor
talking.
supply.
Wow.
And that shows you just the sheer power.
Of these storms, yeah, 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts is insane. You don't want to be messing with that. We have just rounds of showers and storms to the northeast of us. Those are not severe. LaGrange, Bedford, Carrollton, but the main line we're watching right now is the severe thunderstorm warned areas. Louisville, these storms are going to be marching in here very, very soon, from Shively to New Albany, Valley Station, West Point, Dixie Highway. Looks like along the Sherman Bridge here pretty soon, Floyd's Knobs, New Albany, Portland. That's where these storms are going to be marching in here very, very soon for the area. There's a lot of lightning being detected with these storms. Looking on the back edge of this towards Paoli and Mitchell, a lot of lightning strikes being detected. But here's these storms as they're marching their way very, very quickly to the north and east right now. They're going to be heading towards the I-65 corridor in southern Indiana very soon. I would say in the next 15 to 20 minutes, you can expect these storms from Seymour down towards Brownstown, Scottsburg, and Henryville.
You can see it there in the orange, so they may have a significant amount of power outages. And it looks like Breckenridge County also dealing with some power outages as well. So let's get back to Metro Louisville. This is happening now. It is 2:56. So we're going to have this squall line moving through parts of Louisville here very shortly. And look at that very tail end.
There's these warnings a bit closer that we're watching right now.
Right to the north.
We're still continuing to watch very heavy rainfall with these severe thunderstorms, and we're also watching wind gusts up to about 60 to 70 miles an hour on the leading edge of this line. 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Mobile homes, roofs, outbuildings are going to be damaged. Trees are going to be damaged. This storm is moving into Shively right now, and it's only a matter of a few minutes until it marches its way into the city of Louisville right now.
What's happening real time with our Metro cameras here in just a second. We have the storms now moving into the Borden Valley. Don't be surprised with some tree damage, some power outages in these areas. So we've got the knobs right here. Here's Greenville, Starlight, Hubers.
I'm going to try and show you what the cameras look like here in Louisville. There's some of those thunderstorms we're watching right now. That's actually a live look over the Ohio River, looking to the northwest right now at these thunderstorms as they're marching their way into southern Indiana and across much of northern and western Kentucky right
A
now.
little bit farther to the north, we do have more severe thunderstorm warnings as we look up to the north. This is South Boston into Washington County.
You can physically see these clouds and how quickly they're moving. We're not watching a tornado with these storms, but we're watching more in the form of just very strong wind gusts with these thunderstorms and locally very heavy rainfall as well.
Because of this inclement weather moving through. You'll be surprised, I think, once the storms move through, how just
Sam, I'm
Yeah.
having trouble actually getting to this site. to change the cameras?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me,
Are you able to point those cameras?
yes. Do you mind driving on Max 3 on that computer? You can, that one, yeah. Let me, are you in ENPS 2 or 3?
I'm not in either.
Okay.
If you can take over 2.
Okay, sure.
ENPS 2.
Let me try and pull up some of these cameras.
Okay.
There hasn't been a
And
ton of
I
lightning
will
in the squall line that we've been
continue to
tracking
monitor
here
these storms that
over the
we're
last
watching right now,
about
primarily
hour and a half.
in
It's been
southern
up to
Indiana. So
3
we
o'clock
have,
hour.
that is
Some of the antennas just kind of rocking
a
around a
long
little
line
bit.
of thunderstorms and a pretty large polygon as well. That's been issued, stretching from Bloomington, Indiana, all the way down to Metro Louisville, just clipping you folks around PRP to Shisley. Heads up to you folks to Portland, I'm sure in the next radar scan it'll actually be right over top of you here, because it is continuing to race so quickly off to the northeast. So we'll continue to put things in motion here so you can see
This is the low-level jet. This is the
exactly
winds that we're waiting on behind the front. So notice they're swirling in from the southwest behind
who
that
needs a
squall
heads
line.
up here. We'll go ahead and put a track on it too.
Oh, hold on one sec. Let me change the camera real quick.
That's going to change
I got
in a
this.
hurry as these winds
Let's
start to
do,
ramp up. I think these winds will start to
let's go off the
increase.
So we're going to
Jeffersonville
try and
one.
see if we can get an actual visual on this here.
Yeah, so
Ground truth.
load in
And
like the currents.
ground truth on that then that
Yeah.
just came in. 71 mile per hour wind gusts in Simpson
Maybe I can
County,
drive this a little
where
bit.
currently really is not much of any
Let me
type
try and
of,
turn it around.
precipitation falling. And you
PTZ
will also
mode,
just
let's
to the
see.
north as I pull radar back up. National Weather Service in Louisville put out a little discussion on that, saying that severe thunderstorm
So you can see we're kind of taking a quick tour.
Indiana may not be extended.
Just trying to find the live camera that doesn't have the currents on there so that
This is from our Jeffersonville camera.
perhaps
You can see a lot of thunderstorm clouds.
Air temperature and the low-level air just might be too stable for any of those severe winds to reach the surface. They said
just
we'll
bear
continue
with
to
me here,
monitor it,
folks.
but unless they see a dramatic jump northward of that warm front, we don't really
So we
think
can
that
actually,
severe weather
ground
threat will be
truth,
that
of course,
high
is
north of
what we
pretty
want
much
to see,
Highway
right? We can
56
do a
in the
lot of
near
things
term,
on
so
radar.
Right.
We can dissect the storm with radar. However, actually seeing what's going on out there is incredibly important.
So this is a look from Jeffersonville camera. You can see a lot of dark clouds out in the distance out there from the water tower square. This is looking, Christine, you can probably help me with this because this is looking to the west, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would keep it right there, and let's keep looking at that. I mean,
There's a
good chance we're not going to be able to see a whole lot because these
Right.
are going to be so rain wrapped, and you're really just going to see a wall of rain with, I mean, the incredible amount of moisture we've already gotten.
Right.
So not just worried about potential tornadoes, not just worried about the very strong wind, but also the flooding that this could cause.
Just a reminder too, we have Ben and Alden live on WHS 11 right now, giving more information as well. So you have two sources to get your information right now. One is on our Facebook Live video, obviously, and then also two on WHS11.com on the actual TV.
Yeah, so what I'm realizing, we must have 2 live streams going on WHAS. But that's because I was wanting to monitor the comments for you, Sam.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the Big 4 Bridge view from Jeffersonville. Kind of take you on a tour. You get to see the good cameras we got here. So there's some, it might be scud clouds in the distance out there.
That's what it looks like. I mean, it's incredibly hard to tell just because there's so
Right.
much rain.
Well, and that's the thing too, Christina. Look at this blue sky that's here there too. Like, there's been,
Is that just ahead of it?
yeah.
That you're looking at? And as much as we love sunshine on a normal day, that's not what we like to see on days
No,
like today.
no.
That only fuels the storm more
Right.
and gives it a little bit more juice or energy.
Exactly. Ooh, I'm gonna pop up the downtown camera. But yeah, more energy for the atmosphere to work with.
Okay, that camera's going.
So here's the Metro camera. I'll try and take in a little bit of a tour.
I have some more storm reports for you, Ben, and we also have a number, Lena, you can go ahead and throw that on the screen to send us your photos. Just please be safe when you do so. Do not put yourself.
So this is downtown Louisville. Of course, we're kind of noticing all these storm clouds and such.
Photos can be very useful tools for us and understanding what exactly is going on in your neighborhood, as obviously we are stuck inside. There's that number on your screen, 502-582-7290. When you send us those photos, please tell us where exactly you took that photo from as well. As for additional storm reports, in Hardinsburg, there was a wind gust of 75 miles per hour at 2:25 p.m. So that's a fairly delayed report, but it is giving us an idea of how strong that line was as it was moving.
So here's that thunderstorm. It's going to make its way into Louisville here pretty soon. Here's a look actually to the southwest of downtown. And we're already picking up rain. See that? Yep. Here comes the storm.
And we'll probably start to see that camera shake quite a bit more.
Yep.
So we're continuing to see these power outages increase as this line currently moves through and as it continues, even after it passes on by the region as well. As I said earlier, we had a report of a 75-mile-per-hour wind gust in Simpson County, Kentucky. So don't let that rain ending lull you into a false sense of security, because we are still going to be dealing with potentially destructive non-thunderstorm wind gusts that could result still in down trees and down power lines, which is already something that we were seeing earlier this morning before the severe weather threat was moving in. And of course, you do not want to get anywhere near a downed power line. Call your local power company and let them know. As for flash flooding,
so here's a look at downtown Louisville. We're seeing the heavy storm move in right now.
You want to turn around, don't drown.
It's a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Louisville. We're watching, along with the heavy rain, we're watching times of wind gusts between 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Hardinsburg just came in with a report from earlier of 75 miles per hour.
Wow, 75 miles an hour with these storms. You know, it seems, Christina, so far these storms were at their worst across our western Kentuckiana communities earlier on.
Yeah, they certainly were, but I mean, this is something we've been planning for, this main line coming through.
Right.
And this potential pack that it could have.
Right.
Something we've been talking about for several days.
Right.
Looks like there's some power outages in Radcliffe. They gusted right around 55 to 65 miles per hour.
Okay.
A few power lines are being reported down. That's just coming in.
Reporting a 55-mile-per-hour wind gust.
Report of flash flooding right now at Temple, and that's in Crawford County, Indiana.
So flash flooding everywhere. Southern Indiana has it really bad right now with its rain.
It's been pretty relentless. Southern Indiana honestly has not really gotten a break.
No.
Not more than about, I'd say, 5 minutes at a time. It's coming down over already very soiled ground.
It was raining in Southern Indiana since we got in this morning for GMK.
Yeah, I live in Southern Indiana, and I heard it coming down around midnight last night.
Yeah.
And it just really hasn't stopped since. You're right.
Let's look at our U of L health camera campus from the Belmont Senior Village Living area, and I'm going to try and get you an idea of where these storms are located from U of L's campus. So normally you can see downtown from this view, but you can see that obviously so much heavy rain's taken up that it's difficult to see far. I guess there's downtown right there. So, you know, we're noticing just gray skies, obviously.
It's honestly just a silhouette.
Right. Heavy
There we go.
rainfall.
If you can hold it there.
Yeah.
You see just a silhouette of downtown at this point.
Look how big those raindrops are. They look like snowflakes.
It almost does. And we were seeing the same thing this morning. I mean, we're talking at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when we were on the air.
Well,
So it's been about 10 or 11 hours that were going on, incredibly strong wind and a whole lot of rain.
Right.
That just, again, has been relentless.
packing a huge bunch.
Let's give them a check.
Again, if you want more of an
Here.
Then I have a good update for us now. The Storm Prediction Center just put out their latest outlook here, and they have downgraded us to level 2 out of 5, and they've even cleared some of our southwestern counties out of this. We are in level 3 out of 5 for pretty much the entirety of our area. But as we head further into the afternoon, we're seeing this severe weather risk continue to diminish. Now, just because we were downgraded doesn't mean that things are safer, that we're out of the clear yet. It just means that the environment is not quite as favorable for us in our area. So we've now been downgraded to level 2 out of 5. for that severe weather risk today.
And this is regarding thunderstorms. This has nothing to do with the high wind warning that we have until 10 p.m. So yes, it'll be great to get the thunderstorms out of here. The tornado watch is till 5 p.m. That'll get canceled early.
Yeah, Christina, if you want
Go
to.
ahead and put things in
Yeah,
motion.
it's a good idea.
So this is moving.
Then next, we're just gonna keep an eye on the various wind gusts that could be over 50 to 60 plus miles per hour, continuing to give us some spotty tree and power line damage and make travel
moving
really
northeast at
difficult
60.
around the area.
Right, and this is for Floyd County, this is for Jefferson County, Cell 315, and Scott County included, towards Salem, Washington County. This is making its way to the north and east right now. There's a little bit of a cell popping up over I-65 towards Bullitt County as well. So if you live on the south fringe of Louisville towards Shepherdsville, we're also watching a storm down that way.
We'll backtrack on it, so you know whenever it's going to be in your backyard. We have, well, right now in Underwood, Scottsburg, just a couple of minutes, Boston, 313, 315, Lexington, Indiana, Rolling Hills neighborhood shortly thereafter. You folks around New Washington in less than 10 minutes. 319 near Deputy Elementary School. Now, thankfully, from what I've heard, just about all of the schools let out today. I know JCPS was one of the first ones to call it, and then everyone else came out shortly thereafter and just decided it's not worth the risk for the kids to
Smart
go
decision.
to school. And while we don't want to keep kids out of school, this was a situation that certainly called for the kiddos to stay home. I know my daughter was very upset by that decision, but it's what's best.
Right.
And I'm certainly was glad to see that. So I'll take that track off of here so we can see just who's affected at this point. Salem, Indiana's just about past you. Just about, not quite yet. Almost to Scottsburg, Crawfordsville. We're going to zoom in even closer so we can have some more towns popping up here. Just over Underwood on 65, Henryville, Memphis, Perry Crossing, and stretching down to Sellersburg. Look how just linear this line is as I'm just pulling down to the south.
And Christina, if you want to pull up occurrence again, just to show like what it looks like outside in downtown, we have this. Look at this. Well, let me hold on one sec. Let me select the camera. This will look at the Galt House Hotel camera that we have here, and this one's there. That gives you a good look over the river right now, looking into Indiana, just at the view that we have right now.
And you can actually see how fast it's moving visually just watching it live.
Yeah, these clouds are moving at a really fast pace right now. We'll kind of give you a little bit of a tour on this camera. I mean, look at how dark it's getting out there. And the crazy thing is, when this storm passes, we're already noticing blue sky in the back edge of it. So there's just so much energy available in the atmosphere for more storms to ignite. Now, this is looking like the overall threat of more storms is coming to a close, which is good news as the system passes. We're not quite out of the woods quite yet. Keep that in mind.
Especially not with the wind. So
right. Oh, right.
yeah,
That's what I was going to say.
Even as these storms do make their way through, the wind is still going to be a threat. Even non-thunderstorm winds, that's going to continue. We are still going to have a high wind warning in effect. I believe that's until 10 o'clock this evening, because that potential is still going to be there for damaging wind gusts.
Right.
And I'm pretty familiar with this shot. It does look like the Ohio River has swollen a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain. I'm pretty concerned about flooding overall, and just because there might be effects that we're dealing with the flooding for a good week when it comes to impactful flooding at least, and power outages are going to be likely. I mean, even when the storm passes, the wind's going to be really bad up until about 10 o'clock tonight, so we have another 6 hours left of very strong wind gusts with the storm system.
We're hoping for the best, of course, and that won't happen, but we've already seen multiple reports of not only damage, but yes, power lines down,
much of
as
Washington
well.
County. So southwest of Salem,
Right
you
now,
guys
we are probably
are
just
now
underneath this
done
line
with
at
the
this
tornado
point
threat.
as we
None of that
zoom
severe
into
storm threat. We're done with it
the
in
Louisville
Jefferson
metro
County.
area.
We're
Many
clearing out
folks in
Crawford,
Germantown,
in
Arnold
Orange,
Park,
in Lawrence counties. The worst of it is over for you guys.
and
It will stay gusty for the rest of today, though. Very, very windy
This?
for the rest of today. The
I can
severe
do
storm
that.
threat is over with in Perry, in Du Bois County.
Yeah.
It is over with in Meade,
I can do it.
much of
I'm gonna
Harnett,
read Alden's
and out towards
handwriting, I
Breckenridge
apologize.
County. We'll just kind of wait to see what reports we get
Okay,
in.
so
Hopefully
Sam
very
pulls
limited
up a
reports,
camera
now
for
that this
us
is moving
here.
over downtown.
Yes, I will pull up the.
A
We have
better view.
we have a lot of flooding on one of our traffic cameras, so I'm gonna pop that up and show you that information.
Yeah, we have kind of all modes of severe weather at this point.
Yes.
So let's put another track
Really
on
hasn't
this for
initialized
Metro
and
Louisville.
developed that
I'm
direction
going
so
to pull it
far.
up
What I'm
to
willing to
the
bet, what I'm willing
northeast.
to bet, Ben, is that the
Here's your track.
earlier line of storms that we had.
So St. Matthews basically right now, Audubon Park right now, Barber Mead in the next 5 minutes.
In the Paducah area, that seemed to be the most fuel-rich environment for some of
Okay,
those
so
storms, and that area
pull up
fuel was just being
Trimark
moved
camera.
northward. We're working on getting a couple of Metro cams set up for us, excuse me, Trimark cameras set up so we can see how things are looking across the area.
I can pull this. Oh, you got it?
Not seeing much in the way of
Traffic.
traffic
Oh, I
problems. That's
didn't.
the good
Maybe
news.
you're next door. Yes.
However, on some of the medians in particular, you can see a little
Let's
bit
pop
of
this
flooding
in.
and a little bit of, I guess you can almost call it rivering of sorts as that water moves down, particularly in the area that doesn't have much in the way of vegetation.
Let's check Scottsburg camera too.
Okay, let me pull up our Scottsburg camera really quick. I just scroll down here to it.
So it looks like this, this would be our best.
Look at that flooding. That's at I-64 and Melwood Avenue right now. Hold on.
Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds,
Yeah.
as Sam and I know, to load on up, but just letting the viewers at home know.
Right,
Waiting for it to be pulled up.
Here we go. So this is at I-64 and Melwood Avenue. So if you live in Louisville, this is a look at what the interstate looks like with how much rain's going on out there. Look at that.
So this is right at Highway 56 and Interstate 65.
That's a lot of flooding. Look at the median, a lot of standing water. Please stay off the roads. Hydroplaning is going to be likely in these kind of conditions. And this is rain coming down. This is not snow. I know the camera looks like it's picking up snow, but that's heavy, heavy raindrops coming down at Melwood Avenue and I-64 this afternoon.
We're going to see this move out, I'd say.
Take a look at that, Christina.
We've only got about 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yep,
before,
that's some localized flooding right there.
zipping out of our
And keep in mind, it's been raining for.
You can see that actually flowing on the roadway there too.
Yep.
Just the pools of water. I was seeing a lot of that earlier, but I mean, so much rain falling in such a short amount of time. You can see the cars picking up the water behind them as they're pushing on through. It's best just to stay home,
Yep.
folks.
It's been raining for 12 hours straight.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, especially in southern Indiana.
Right.
But really, no one's been excluded
Yeah.
from seeing some sort of mode of severe weather today, whether or not you've had a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning. We're all either under some sort of flood warning, flood watch, flood advisory, high wind warning, tornado watch, not to mention, I mean, it's been just all modes on the table here. Just watch all the water being picked up by those cars as they go on through. So another reminder, just not to drive through flooded roads.
Yep, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to take risks.
And also, you never want to get too close to that car in front of you, because that's not only going to blow more water up to your car, it's going to lower your visibility and just make it a lot more dangerous. Like that car right there just cut off the guy behind him. This
seeing the highest number of power outages
has the potential to be very dangerous.
30. Also,
Yeah,
if we can
copious
quickly
amounts
switch
of rain.
to Max 3, I want to show you I-64 Melwood Avenue. This is what I was referring to earlier.
So we're going to leave this camera here, as Alden and Ben are both on the air with continuous coverage as well. And he wants to pull up this camera of I-64 at Melwood Avenue.
I-64 Melwood, traffic moving fairly okay. And now, as we take another look at radar again on Max 1, I'll stop this radar loop in, and this area of rain has actually grown a little bit as it moves through the heart of downtown and through
So I'll show you what
Germantown,
he's talking
through Ogden
about,
Park,
that
and into St. Matthews, Northfield area.
this
Also
line
just across
moving
the river
around the
there as
metro
well.
has seemed
you're
to
seeing
get,
some of the
for
torrential
again lack of a
downpours
better term, but get
happening.
fatter,
And while you're at it,
so to
let's
speak.
go ahead and go into velocity.
Are there no more warnings issued?
Germantown to St. Matthews, no, so
They're all expired.
they did expire.
That's good.
The warning for Metro Louisville as well as our southern Indiana counties, as it's no longer meeting severe criteria. So that's wonderful news here. This is going to continue to keep racing off to the northeast, though, at a really fast clip. And just because there's no severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean that we're out of the woods with the high wind, because we are still going to have that high wind warning for us through well into this evening, even behind these thunderstorms that we're seeing. Let me see if we can
Strong tropical storm or even a Category 1 hurricane just off the ground.
Yeah, that's the good news. It looks like these storms are making their way out of here, which is great. Stay inside though as best you can. As these storms move through the area, they're moving their way to the east-northeast really quickly, around 70 miles an hour right now this afternoon. So they're going to be packing quite the punch initially. Keep in mind, too, that we're going to be watching times of very strong wind gusts throughout the course of the afternoon and evening. So these storms are not severe again, but we're going to continue to watch this. Fern Creek, LaGrange, Newcastle, Shelbyville, Taylorsville, Mount Washington. That's where these thunderstorms are underway right now. Anchorage,
We are getting some new reports in right now.
Charlestown, Seymour.
Let's see here, 59-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Ireland, Indiana at that weather station, a non-thunderstorm wind gust in Grayson County at 3 o'clock, so about 20 minutes ago at 64 miles per hour. Also seeing a power out in White Mills in parts of Radcliffe and areas between E-Town and Radcliffe.
So we're getting a lot of reports of power outages, so please make sure you're prepared just in case the power goes out. Charge all your devices at home. Don't take any risks with this. Here's the timing of these storms.
Still posing a threat for us, so that's why we continue to see these power outage reports continue to increase. And I'll move radar to the south just to see if there's
I'm
anything
going
in
to pull up
E-Town.
live
And there wasn't
cameras
much of
again
I mean, exactly what you
with
said.
the camera that you have pulled up, Sam.
Wind gusts that just the power of
I
that
mean,
thunderstorm. So that's just
look at that.
Wow.
You actually,
We'll just kind of wait to
just
see
saw.
what happens here in
Is that at U of L?
There's that
Oh,
line.
Scottsburg. That's in Scottsburg.
It's our Scottsburg camera.
Wow, look at that.
Scott County. Notice how
Obviously
quickly
shaking
that
all over the
moved over
place.
Scottsburg and over I-65 is now east
Just
of,
can't see anything
Henryville,
besides a
the
whole
Cisco
Yeah,
rain
just a
blowing around.
swath of rain right now.
Here's eastern Clark County, here's Jefferson County, so I'd say about 3:30 or just after
then we
that,
have
it's out
Scottsburg
of the viewing
camera
area. So the
pulled up.
timeline on this has
If you
been
wanna use that,
persistent, hasn't really
the max
changed
3.
much. And as we look a little bit farther
Look
to
at
the south,
look at
once again, as we
Jeffersonville.
begin to Oldham
I
County,
played that
Wilson
one quick
County,
too. Look at the sun already coming out.
some of this heavy rain's heading your direction.
That's insane.
Couple bolts of lightning, not seeing a whole lot of that, but the winds within this and surrounding this heavy shower, this thunderstorm, in excess of 70, 80, 90, 100 miles per hour. We just don't want that
Wow.
to get to the ground. But if that happens, we're going to be dealing with some power outages and some tree damage reports here over.
Yeah, Alden, if you guys want to,
surrounding metro Louisville area. So this is moving to the northeast as all of our activity has been doing. You can see it right over Northfield, St. Matthews, Linden. That's all heading your direction.
Scottsburg, wow. There's the effects of that thunderstorm.
And just how incredible this has moved out of the area, or incredibly fast this has moved out of the area. It's just
Yeah.
started pushing in around 12:20. We were getting our first warnings.
Also, as we pull back
And
just a little
it's
bit, it looks like it could be coming
just
towards the
raced
Shelby
out
County
of here
shortly.
so quickly.
Yeah, so
My
you just had
goodness.
one heavy area of thunderstorms move out. That's that secondary round that's moving into Mount Washington now. And it's kind of been, it's fairly healthy. I mean, it's been moving off to the south. There's Nelson County into Cox's Creek.
Here's a look at the roads and how wet they are.
I mean, not overly.
A lot of flooding going on.
With those winds, although you may want to switch the radar site. You're probably fine there, actually checking out that radar site right there. Yeah, this is kind of not well.
Yeah, pretty much no matter where you're at in Kentucky, you weren't excluded from this.
No,
By
right.
any means. So this was a widespread event that we've had today,
Mhm.
and still going on, but thankfully we're not seeing those active warnings like we were.
Sprinkles in these light rain showers still can be.
Here's a look looking to the east, I believe, from Scottsburg.
The thunderstorm with the most lightning is in far eastern Scott and into Jefferson County, Indiana, moving east at about 70 miles per hour. So Hanover and Madison, you're up next for the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds, and New Washington, it's on your doorstep as well. It has now moved to the east of Henryville. We've got the main line out of the Borden Valley, even though there's a little shower out to the west of you around Pekin. Live view of the camera, kind of rocking around a little bit more in Scottsburg. So it looks like the gusty winds are hitting it now. Yeah, bouncing up and down.
Even the conditions in Scottsburg did recover pretty well.
Right.
Just the last couple of minutes, in terms of the blinding rainfall, I should say. Obviously, the camera's still rocking and rolling a whole lot.
Any more flash flood concerns, given how heavy a lot of this rain has been coming down, and they are
My
saying,
goodness.
Thankfully, given how fast
Yeah, just a
these storms
lot
are
of
moving,
water on the
they are
roads.
not
Again,
expecting
if you don't have to
more
leave the
flash
house,
flooding.
I'd recommend
Of course, we're keeping
against
an eye
it.
on it. We also have some
Just would
flooding
not be
pictures, I
enjoyable
believe, our producer
or
There's
safe
some-
for that matter.
Yeah.
that some flooding pictures in J-Town near
I
Tully.
know a lot of folks think it's just water.
Right now, so
It's
this is
just
some of that
rain.
flash flooding. It probably
It's
has
powerful.
been
The
flooded
power of water is
for a
amazing.
while,
It is,
but,
yeah, and that's what I saw today with that car being stalled out. It only takes 1 to 2 feet.
There's another look here at the storm from the Galt House Hotel. This is looking northeast over the river. Look at that rain shaft. That's insane.
Yeah, just an absolute wall of rain.
How deep it is, nor
That
can you
has
tell
just been moving
necessarily how
incredibly
fast that
fast.
water could be moving, and it is a prime way to be swept away, and we certainly do not want that for anyone, especially for any children. So stay far away from a lot of that, a lot of
Is this
those
Reed's
waterways.
camera here?
No, this is a video of a tree down in Pulaski County, Indiana. So this is just kind of giving us an idea of what we could be seeing later from any of your storm reports of a lot of those trees down, blowing over on top of people's homes. And as you were saying earlier, Ben, the
Yeah,
ground is
Alden
so
made a
saturated.
good point there.
and
Even as
trees
we
have
get
been
these
getting
storms out of
battered
here,
a
we're
lot
probably
lately
going to be
by
seeing
some
a
of
lot of
these high
damage
winds,
reports.
especially older trees or trees that are dying.
And
It's not
where we
necessarily
had
take
any
very
of those
much
tornado
to,
warnings, the
hold
National
them
Weather
over. I wanna
Service
go
will
back to our
likely
Metro Cam
step
because we have
out
a really
and
ominous view
go
of that
assess the
storm,
damage.
Up near Scott County right now.
Look at all this
As,
blue sky we have on the
Sam
back edge of
Levin,
this system.
Gabrielle, move that camera around. Guys, point it back to the
Yeah, the storm.
northeast a little bit, please. Back to the right some, so we can see the back edge of that storm in other direction, please. Back to the right, so we can see some of those the back edge of that storm that's there in Scott County near Scottsburg. You can really make out those sheets of rain that are falling down, and we also have a that's actually
Wow, look at all that rain.
They have issued a couple new severe thunderstorm warnings out towards the Lexington region because the water might be gaining a little bit of strength there. So
Those new warnings
Yeah,
are
we're waiting
out
for
of our
reports.
area.
It will be amazing if, our viewing area is just kind of getting skipped. Look at that, the explosion of energy
So
just off to our
here's
west
those
along
newer
I-75. Look at
warnings
all
that
these
were just
warnings right there.
issued.
We had the
Again,
warnings out
just out
west.
of our area.
They were canceled for the most part, and now they've exploded.
Covering the
with
greater
front
Lexington
edge.
area
That was the initial line
until
that
4
moved
o'clock.
through here and kind of zapped some of our
So
energy.
let's see,
Western
hazard
Kentucky,
70 mile per hour wind gusts.
And we'll just kind of wait and see as the
And so that
reports
is the
funnel in for
primary
us as
threat
well.
with
Still very healthy. We
that
don't
severe
wanna
thunderstorm.
ignore
If you
it.
have any
There's
family
no
or friends that are
warning
in
on
the
it, but
Lexington
there's still
area,
potential of some damaging
please make
winds
sure that they are well
along this,
informed
line of
and they
thunderstorms here moving into
are
Jefferson
heeding the
County,
warning.
Indiana. There's
Max
Hanover,
hail
there's
size
Madison,
will just be
there's
about
New
3/4 of an
Washington.
inch,
As we look down to the
which is
south now, moving
just
into
smaller than
Oldham County.
a quarter
Really
size.
gusty conditions, still waiting on to see if we'll have.
But
any
again, it
significant
still has
power
the
outages.
potential in
Presently,
Lexington
heavy
to
rainfall for
produce
the eastern
70
end of
mile per
Jefferson
hour
County
wind
that's gonna be
gusts.
sliding
Here locally,
into,
we still have these
Simpsonville
storms to
area
contend with,
and
but
the
currently
Bluegrass Shops
are not
and
severe warned.
into Shelbyville as well.
But
So still
likely
moving
are still
rapidly across
producing
the
very
area, and
strong wind.
you can't
And
ignore
that's
the
stretching
fact that even
from
behind these storms, we're gonna have some wind gusts over 60 miles per hour.
We are
That's
from
serious
DuPont,
stuff. Like
North
any other
Vernon,
day, we said, hey,
Indiana.
we're gonna have 60-mile-an-hour winds.
There's
It
Lexington,
would be a
Indiana, down to
huge
New
deal, but it
Washington
seems like
and
we're just getting
Prospect.
accustomed
Also,
to
you've
these
seen how this
really
is kind of
windy
breaking
days
apart
with all the wind advisories
as it's
that we
traveled
have
off
and,
to the
into
northeast,
high
but
wind
also
warnings.
the
High wind
range
warning does continue until
down to
10
Mount
p.m.
Washington, Kentucky.
It's going to be difficult
Cox
conditions
Creek,
to
you're
be
also
out and
included in
about,
this.
even once the storms pass on through. Off to the
and
south we go. There's
First time you're just going to get that tail edge and likely kick up your wings quite a bit, but it is going to continue racing off to the northeast here
This line
over
right
the
here,
next
Ben,
couple of
is
minutes.
primarily the cold front, I believe, that's starting to push through. And if Christina or Sam, if one of you can check out temperatures area-wide, I'd be curious to see if we're starting to see temperatures falling. If you can pull up the...
Alden, you can try the Indiana, Kentucky map or the Ohio Valley map, if you've got that nearby. And,
we do have lower
there should be
50s,
about a
Seymour.
20-degree drop in temperatures. We're 66 now, so mid to upper 60s. And then I'd say in about 2 or 3 hours we'll be down in the mid 40s.
So we have a
over 50.
20-degree
So a
temperature
pretty
spread
significant drop
here
in
if we're looking at
temperatures as that
southern
cold front,
Indiana
moves
and
on
stretching
through our
down
area.
along and south of the parkways. You're looking at temperatures in those lower 70s. We're seeing some lightning too as we're looking around the area from our U of L health camera.
Very interesting storm system over the area. I mean, this is springtime, 70 in Springfield,
Yeah, it's
Kentucky.
really warm stuff for this time of the year. Folks don't need me to tell you that. From Springfield to Hodgenville, Munfordville, also Campbellsville, all feeling 70 degrees right now.
In Elizabethtown right now, 40 in Springfield, very gusty.
And perhaps on a normal day, 70 degrees in early March would be ideal, but
as that center
obviously we're seeing conditions that are less than ideal, to say the least.
Actually, Alden, we haven't seen it in a while. If you want to put up the futurecast wind gust speeds, this might surprise you that without any thunderstorms,
I would assume without
wind speeds
any
that
of
we
these
can
warnings,
still
we
see,
would
for the rest of this afternoon
cut off our coverage.
So this is
We got a
now
newscast in
storm
half an hour too.
and we still could see wind
We
speeds
certainly
of
do.
around
We may just be
60
carrying it
miles per hour. This is
until the
6:30
newscast.
p.m.
And then
Still
maybe that way we're going to
very,
have
very windy. Strong
some
winds
different
and
storm
still
reports, maybe
could
some
cause
pictures that you folks
Right.
have sent in
and some
throughout the
power out
day.
and some power
We
lines
love
as
getting
well.
those again.
Does it go
It's all about the
far
ground
enough where we see
truth.
them finally start to diminish? We need that
So
storm
look
system to
around
pull
at
away.
the different alerts
So
here.
now
We still have
midnight,
the
30
flood
mile per
watches
hour winds.
going.
And then this
Flood
is the
warnings
calm
from
stuff right
Patoka
here.
Lake
So
down to
tomorrow
Tell
morning,
City.
around sunrise, for
Those
the
are
Triple
still in
Crown
effect
running
until
5K. It might still be a little bit
4:15,
breezy.
so
It looks like
45
it'll
more
be in the upper
minutes.
30s and 40s.
I'm sure we've seen a lot of that water receding at this point.
The first leg of the Triple
The high
Crown
wind
running,
warning
and,
remains in
very nice
effect
conditions if you have any plans
until
for
10 o'clock
Saturday
this
afternoon.
evening, and that's Eastern Standard
So
Time.
things after midnight will start to really calm down.
So even after
But
the
up
storms
until
get out of here
midnight,
once
it's still
again,
gonna be
we are
really
still
gusty
going
out
to
there.
be
Ben, I have new
contending
power
with
outage
quite a bit
numbers
of
for
wind.
you. I'm going to read those off to you, and then Doug
The wind
is
also
going
could
to talk to you very quickly in your
produce
ear
those
as
power
I pose-
outages that
as
we've
I,
been
put,
talking about
Max AG radar
better
back
course
up
of
here.
the
So across the state of
afternoon.
Kentucky,
Here's another look at radar.
over 111,000 power outages in the LG&E jurisdiction at 17,510.
You can see this line from
Grayson
Seymour
County, still
down
530,
to
and
Taylorsville. You can tell
Jefferson
it is
County now power
breaking
outages
apart quite a bit,
over
but
5,000.
overall
And in Hardin County, we now
it
have the power
has
outages
gotten
numbering just
pretty
under
thin
1,000
here as
at
it's moving off to the northeast.
822. So as a
Especially that
reminder,
line
in the event that you do lose
southern
power,
or in
you
southern
can still
Indiana.
watch us here at WHAS 11. We are streaming live on
It's
YouTube
not
right
quite
now.
as wide, I
We're
should
streaming
say,
on Facebook.
as it
You
was.
can also watch us on our free WHAS 11 app, as well as a Roku and Fire TV. So if you lose power, you still have multiple ways of getting a hold of us. But again, that's over 111 power outages across Kentucky, mainly in the western Kentucky, and LG&E's area,
So
17,510.
Lexington, Kentucky just clocked in with 69 mile per hour wind gusts. And that's
Wow.
why that,
At the airport?
Correct. So as that, what I'm willing to bet is as that line of very heavy rain we were looking at not too long ago pushed through.
Very strong wind out
feeling
there.
That's where a lot of that came from. So
No doubt. I mean, you were pointing
yeah,
it
just
out.
under 70 mile per hour wind.
If you want to go back to that, that the
So a
jet
lot of
stream's
times, I
right
mean,
on
we
the
could
top
have
of
severe
us. We're seeing
thunderstorms
wind speeds of
issued
100
just for
miles
the
per
wind.
hour right off the deck, right above the trees. So we're very close to the radar. So we're only maybe a few hundred feet off the
A
ground.
larger
Still
view.
78 miles per hour, 87 75.
Yeah, it's been
This is gonna cause some
a
tree
pretty
damage,
large
even though
and
there's
very
not a warning
strong
on it,
storm
it's gonna be
that's
more
passed on through. It hasn't
perhaps
just affected us
isolated,
here
but there's still
locally.
a chance that these showers are
Indianapolis
just like a
is
funnel, hitting those winds
about to
right
get
down to
dumped
the
on at this
ground
point
and
too,
causing some destruction,
by
unfortunately,
that
in
line
those
that just
power
raced through
outages. So
Kentucky
it was
and
like
too.
20 minutes ago we had 15 without power in Louisville, now we're up to 5,000, and you said that we're
Wow.
100,000 without power in the western half of
5,000
Kentucky.
without
Just
power in
statewide
Louisville,
in
you said?
general, and I punched up our wind gust map again because
Here
we're
it
starting to
comes.
see more wind
60.
gusts. Yes, seeing a report of 70-mile-per-hour non-thunderstorm wind gusts in Hardin County near Cecilia, also in off toward Lexington, that's out of our area, of course. Non-thunderstorm wind gusts of 70 miles per hour. Also seeing a new damage report coming in out of Paoli in Orange County of trees down on 37
Yeah,
South.
pull up
near Paoli.
the wind
I'm
gusts.
assuming
That's what Alden's talking about
State
here.
Road
Hopefully you folks can hear him okay. These are our current wind
This is
gusts
what we are
across
going
the
to
board.
continue to emphasize.
It's
Even though the
obviously
rain is done,
ranging
don't
quite
let
a
that
bit.
fool you into a false sense
From
of security,
55-mile-per-hour
because we're
gusts
still
right now in
seeing
E-Town,
these extremely high
50-mile-per-hour
wind
wind
gusts
in
approaching 70
Brandenburg,
miles per hour,
and then just a
these
light
power
breeze
outages continue to
in the
ramp
wake
up. So it
of
would be a
those
good
storms in
idea to
Seymour
go
and
ahead
Scottsburg,
and
but I
charge
expect that to
your
pick up
electronic
here
devices.
Alden, this is what I meant about comparing it
quite
to
soon. So
Hurricane Ike
we'll take you on
in
future
2008.
casts
This is like the
here
third
into the next
punch
couple of
that we're
hours.
getting
This is what we're looking at
That's
now.
flash flooding over the northern half of
It's
the
going to
area, early area.
really take its time
Round
moving
one
out of
that
here.
did some
Still
isolated
40 to
damage.
50-mile-per-hour
Round two
gusts,
was the squall
even
line
in the
we're
wake of
tracking.
these
This
storms.
is
So the storms will be
kind of
ramped
round
up by
three, I
now.
guess you call it. This is
Or by this point.
low
This
level
is
jet
right around
energy.
sunset this
This is
evening.
not
Looking at
thunderstorm.
about
This is
7
the
o'clock.
core of the
Still
high
could see wind gusts anywhere
warning
from
that
40
we're
to
gonna
50
have.
miles per
Look
hour.
at this
It's not
purple color
until
right here.
well
She said
after
Hardin County
sunset
has
that we
70 gusts.
finally get
That's
that
gotta
wind
be even
lightening up
more, so
ever so
watch out,
slightly.
55
It's still
gusts.
going to be a very
Elizabeth
breezy
Town,
night,
nearly
but
60
I
comfortable.
know I'll
Anywhere
take
near
20-mile-per-hour
60.
gusts over
Pull a
40
roof
to
off a
50
barn, do shed
any day
damage,
here.
topple trees, cause
But watch as
power
we're taking
outages.
into the
So
overnight. This
just
is
not done yet.
4 o'clock in the morning
53
tomorrow.
gusts in Louisville. That's not
Finally
thunderstorm. Really
getting those
impressive
gusts to
stuff.
really
And yes,
lighten
this will
up.
be moving into parts of southern Indiana.
But as we've been
It's
talking
not
about, the
very
wind is just
often
going to
we
be very
track
stubborn, very
air,
persistent,
Alden.
very
We're just tracking
slow
air flowing very
to
fast.
actually move out of
Very
the
rare
area.
event for us.
And
So
even
that's
though we're
basically
talking
your
about
future
these wind
cast
gusts,
for
I showed you
your wind
earlier, I'll bring it
speeds,
up
40
again
to 50
right now.
miles per
Those are
hour.
winds gusting up to 70 miles per
again,
hour, but we still have sustained
here's your
wind
gusts,
speeds
and let's look
of
at
over
the
40.
sustained
So
wind
this is
speed
the air
here.
just blowing at a steady pace.
Wow. Look at
42
E-Town.
miles per hour in E-Town.
And that's, if you guys
To
can
our
hear Alden, that's
southwest,
what he's
we're
talking
seeing
about
those
as well.
highest
42 mile
wind
per
speeds
hour
at the moment.
sustained
Those are
wind in
continuing to
E-Town.
make their way to the
Not
northeast.
gusting,
So
but that's
eventually,
sustained.
there is a good
We're
chance
also
we could
sustained
see
at 40
those
miles per
60
hour right
up
now
to
in
70 mile per hour
Springfield.
wind gusts here
And
in
if
Metro
you
Louisville. So we're going to have to keep a very
wind
close
speeds
eye on
over
those power
30,
outages because
Jasper,
they have
Indiana still
increased here in
clocking in
Metro.
at 38 mile per
Continue
hour
to see those
wind
power
speed,
outages increase
and you're
here in
sustained
Metro
at
Louisville
34
as
miles
we
per
start
hour
to get those 60 to 70
in
mile per hour wind gusts
Campbellsville,
making
Kentucky.
their way into
We just got a report.
I'm also seeing a new report
What's that?
here out
You got any
of
reports from
Harrison County.
Yeah, E-Town's got a report of no power at Highway
2
210.
miles to the north of New Middletown, coming in from
Hey, Alden.
47, so this is a bit of a delayed report. A 100-year-old maple tree uprooted from thunderstorm winds. Also a new storm report coming in from the airport here in Metro Louisville of a non-thunderstorm wind gust of 60 miles per hour. So we're finally starting to, I literally just said it, seeing these 60 to 70 mile per hour wind speeds and wind gusts making their way through the metro area outside of any thunderstorms. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on potential updated power outages. In fact, Lena, our producer, if you could find me some new power outage numbers, if you have
Yeah.
them, please.
Alden, we just got a viewer message out of E-Town of no power off Highway 210. So we're already seeing that in E-Town too, of no power.
Okay, that was meteorologist Sandy Gabrielle here, off stream to my right, reporting. What was that again?
In Elizabethtown off Highway 210, no power.
Highway 210, Elizabethtown. So we've got 14-year-old Sam Gabrielli and Christina San Juan. They've been streaming and getting
So those power
reports.
outages are
And if you
now
guys-
starting to
if you
really
guys get any
blossom, starting to
reports,
bloom.
Send them to Alden, send them to me.
Got it.
Okay,
Yep.
sure, great.
So yes, we had the squall line move through, that caused some issues. Now next is just fast flowing air, a rare wind event, kind of like, hopefully not as bad, but kind of like what, if you remember 15 years ago, the remnants of Hurricane Ike. Been talking about how this has remnant hurricane energy. this is what we're dealing with here. So the wind gusts, really, really impressive. So this is kind of the leading edge
And
of
in
the
addition to the
low-level
power
Jet
outages,
4.
there's just a
Right
reported
here,
tree down in
we're
each
talking
one, which
over
is of course
100,000
not
without power over
surprising at
Kentucky,
all.
over
You
West
can see
Kentucky. That
those wind
is gonna be
speeds at
literally right
42
over
miles
the
per hour.
top
That's
of us.
sustained.
This is
And gusting even higher than that, gusting to 55 miles per hour, also gusting around 50 from Jasper to Brandenburg, a 53 mile per hour wind gust right now in Metro Louisville, so that's started to pick up. And that's going to be the kind of wind speed, wind gusts I should say, that we're dealing with pretty much through the rest of the afternoon and even well after sunset, as I showed you on our future cast. So let's take another look at our
Did you
radar.
notice the cameras earlier? We had some sunshine.
Let's see what we can
That
pull
also
up here.
acts like a channel to get those strong winds down to the ground.
As it's getting very close to exiting our area from North Vernon, Madison, and stretching down Newcastle, Shelbyville, Taylorsville. There's just a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued. This includes you folks in Newcastle for 70 mile per hour winds.
Also looks like we just got a
Wind gusts.
thunderstorm warning issued. Let's see where that is exactly.
So that's just right over LaGrange, and it's moving northeast at 60 miles per hour.
In Trimble County, so it was that little area of thunderstorm that was moving through the metro area.
Again, the main threat right now being the very strong wind gusts.
70 miles per hour possible, not much in the way
So
of
let's
hail,
zoom in
and
closer
also
here.
report of a funnel cloud reported over the storm.
So you can see just who's
County.
included.
Probably
It's
do
right
have
over LaGrange, almost to you folks in Campbellsburg, Newcastle.
Oldham County,
moving to the northeast at 60
Oldham County
miles per
and
hour.
Henry
Track on that. Thankfully,
Henry County.
putting it out of our
Okay, so for you folks in
Shelby County a little bit too.
yeah, clipping just a little bit of Shelby County. This is in effect for 20 more minutes, again, for the severe wind that it's likely producing at this point.
Right.
So we'll move this
Even
out so
though
we
there's
can
that
see
warning there, there's a really
the
good
folks that are
chance the
affected.
winds are just as
Even
strong
just behind
up
it.
here as well, and even maybe a little bit farther south.
You may just
into
barely
Shelby
get clipped
County.
in Bedford
Anywhere
with that
if you're
secondary
getting
line that's
rain,
behind it, going
just
currently just now
right,
passing to
even
the
behind
east
it,
of
you can have
New
some destructive
Washington,
winds. So
Indiana.
this severe thunderstorm warning heading towards Newcastle now, Worthville, VV,
Moving
Indiana at
very quickly
355,
again,
into
northeast
Liberty
at
around
60
4 o'clock. That
miles
puts it
per
out
hour.
of our viewing area and up towards
So
the
let's put a
Cincinnati
check on
market.
this.
So beware here
Push
in
it up
Trimble
to
County.
the
We've got
northeast.
some very strong winds that are going to be moving over your area. They just moved
So you
over
folks
the
around
bulk,
Carrollton
the majority
could
of
be in
Oldham
your
County.
neighborhood
So pretty
in the
soon,
next 5 minutes.
it's hard to say
In
you're all
Lacey,
in
also
clear
in the
after
next
storm
5
moved
minutes
through,
near
because
Christian
then
Academy
we
of
have just the
Carrollton.
high wind warning
In the
stuff
next
that we're
about
gonna
6
have
minutes
through the
or
rest of
so,
this afternoon,
3:48,
continuing
Worthville.
to add up some of the power outages. Again, we went from
Also,
like
forgive
15
my
power outages to
pronunciation
over
of
5,000.
Vevey.
In Louisville, I'm not sure if
At
that's climbed since about 5
3:51, you
minutes
can
ago.
see
We'll
it
check that.
spelled on there,
We'll
latest
check back
radar
on some of
scan.
those power outages. So this right
I have those
here,
numbers
us
right now, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
A view of just how quickly it's moved on through.
126,500 in the state, in LG and East areas, 17,500. Waiting to get back some updated numbers for Metro Louisville specifically.
A
I
lot
also
of
punched
power
up our Metro
outages.
cam because we have some very scary looking clouds out there right now.
Let's
And
go
you can
ahead.
also see just how
Look up something.
dramatically the cameras are shaking as we start to get those exceptionally high.
Again, the wind
speeds
gusts coming
moving
in
through
just
here.
over
You can
50
see
miles per
similar
hour
to
right
the
now in
bottom
Metro
of the
Louisville. Best thing
screen.
you can do is
This not
just
good
stay
weather.
inside. Go ahead and just stay away from those windows indoors, just to be on the safe side.
Get knocked off the road. So to give you some
Surely it's
perspective, there's
rattling a
about
lot of folks'
600,000
windows
out without power
and
in
the doors.
2008, September 14th, when Hurricane Ike moved through. That was the
I should get
most
Ben a
on record
water.
at that time. And now we've got
Ben probably
125
needs
And maybe
a
everybody
water.
needs a water. I'm gonna get water to everybody.
And this is just
Okay, so Sam's going to step out just for a quick
this event
second
so
here, and I'll
far. So
take you
this is
through
very
the
significant what we're talking
wind
about here.
future cast here as
We're
we
not
go
talking
into the
about
next several
tornado
hours.
winds,
So
and that
again,
really doesn't matter. Thankfully, we don't have
even
tornado
as
winds,
the
but we're still going to have a
thunderstorms
lot of
get out of
impacts
here,
from this.
we still have
There's gonna be a
incredibly
lot of
strong
folks in the
wind to
dark
contend
tonight,
with that'll
that
continue
are
to
not
spread
gonna have
out
power.
as the front works its
Hopefully
way
you've
through.
got
So 40
generators
to
and
50
friends
mile
maybe
per
that
hour
you can
wind
be able to
gusts
stay
going
with,
to
but
be
we're gonna have a lot of
basically
folks
the
without
theme
power.
here
This is a
for
live
the rest
view
of your
here with
Friday.
our
So
little
even
metro
if you're
cam, Coleman cam,
no
looking
longer in the
from
path
on
of
the
those storms,
hospital
it's
curve,
still
looking out
going to
towards
be
our
incredibly
direction off to the
windy.
southwestern sky.
This sort of wind
So
can
that's
still
the last
do
edge of the squall
some
line.
damage
Once that passes
outside.
through, we'll see the end
Finally
of
starting
the tornado watch,
to
which
feel
we've
that
been talking
wind
about all day. It would
calm
likely be
down
canceled
ever
about an
so
hour early.
slightly
So
ever so
here's the
slowly and taking
current,
into the 10 o'clock
severe
hour
thunderstorm
this
warning, the
evening,
one that we have in our viewing area for Henry
where
County,
those wind gusts
Russell,
are
over
dwindling
4.1 in
around
Newcastle,
25 miles per
towards
hour
Bedford. I was
in
just
southern
seeing sight for
Indiana
that
as it
pass on
eventually
through and towards
starts to
Carroll
taper off
County. You've got some
from the
very
west
strong winds heading your
to the
direction
east.
as
So
well.
we're
If
at
you
right
want to
around
pause
20
and
mile per
head
hour
towards
wind gusts
velocity
by
mode
midnight
and see
tonight.
how fast those
So I'll
raindrops
call it
are
after
moving.
midnight tonight. That's when we
Yeah, it's gonna be
finally
very fast.
will get
This is probably
that
over
little
70,
break
80, 90 miles
from
per
the
hour.
wind
Now,
and
once
actually
this is
allow us to
getting
have
this
a
far
really
away from
nice
the radar
Saturday,
side, we're talking
which,
probably about
speaking
1,000
of a
to
really nice
2,000 feet up in
Saturday,
the air. But
let's go
still,
ahead and
you're
look at some
connecting
good
to
news
the
here
upstream with those showers.
into your 7-day
winds,
forecast.
up
So
top here
a
at
really nice
77,
weekend on the way
with
for
the
Saturday and
pixels
Sunday.
right
We're
here
back
near
to the
Newcastle.
upper
So
50s,
right
hovering
over
right
top
around
of you
60
guys,
degrees,
here in
middle
Newcastle,
60s on
over
Sunday
Canonsburg,
with
up
sunshine. So if you
I-71,
need something to
here's
look
Bedford,
forward
Trimble
to,
County.
we do have a
Very,
really
very
nice
strong
weekend
winds.
ahead.
You're
We
likely
just
to
got to
have
get
power
through
outages as
the rest
well.
of our
Same
very
situation. So,
windy
yes, it takes
rest of our
sometimes
Friday.
a good half
Again,
hour
even
to
after
get the
those storms
reports
get
in
out of
once it
here.
moves through. We're starting to
So
get
that's
those
what you have to look
reports
forward
in
to.
here,
We do
Metro
have more
Louisville,
wind in
and,
store in the
and points
future,
out to the west.
particularly next
And
Monday,
speaking of, we're up
as there
to,
could be
just
a
over 8,000
quick
power
rain
outages
chance
here in
Monday night.
Metro Louisville.
Ahead of that
New
rain,
severe
some more wind.
New warning, that
Brief break
continues
from
upstream
that
into
on
Carroll
Tuesday
County,
before more wind
and
moves in
towards
Wednesday,
Edie,
Thursday,
Indiana, up the
and
river there,
how about some
and
potential
out
snow
towards,
flurries
the
by
Williamstown area,
this time next
I-75.
week.
So that's gonna pull it away from our viewing area.
As we know,
So
Kentucky
that
and
will be
weather
the
will
last
certainly keep
of
you on your
severe
toes,
thunderstorm threats for today, and the
especially as
last of
we're
thunderstorms
approaching
once that
spring
moves out of
here,
Henry
kind of a
County
change of seasons.
through Carroll County as
Temperatures
well.
are
Again, we're
still
seeing some
varying
wind
about
speeds
30
not
degrees
far off
just
the ground,
over the next 7
70,
days. So our
80,
warmest day
90
here on over our
miles
next
per
7.
hour. So
Look
Madison,
at Monday,
very strong winds around you,
74
over
degrees.
towards Trimble County,
But we know, of course,
and
that's
towards
not going to
Henry
last our
County
normal
as
this time of
well.
year.
The
We're
worst
at
of the
53
severe
degrees
threat is
for our
now
average in
away from you to
early
Warren
March,
County. That is over
at least
with.
here in
But you're
Louisville.
still gonna have gusty winds
So
for
those
the rest of the
numbers
day.
are
They
just
also
going to be
just confirmed that
crashing
severe thunderstorm warning in
beyond
Overland and Shelby
Monday.
counties.
We're down
However,
to the
weather
50s Tuesday,
center
Wednesday,
has,
and then lower 40s
Muhammad
with
Ali International Airport
potential
reporting
snow
a gust up to 62
on
knots. You do the math
Friday.
there, that's a
So let's
gust
look at the
of,
7-day forecast.
71 miles per
We'll
hour. So I'll bring up that.
pull
That's
back
without
up the
thunderstorms.
radar, see what's
Correct.
happening
Yes,
here.
this is all without thunderstorms.
So the peak gusts, I keep going back
As
to it, because a lot of people
just in that
remember
time
during
frame
the
that I was
Riverside
showing you
was
folks that we
75
issued
miles per
several
hour
more
in sustained
severe
winds
thunderstorms
for 2
warning,
hours. We
severe
could have these
thunderstorm
gusts
warnings.
going on for hours this
So
evening.
this includes
still
Carroll County
serious situation behind the
and
storms.
is
Look at
going
that.
to
Remember
be
that
carried
purple
on
color
until
was about
4:30
right
this
about
afternoon.
20
And
minutes
that's kind of
ago.
just giving
This
you a
is
heads up,
core
and so the
of
National Weather
jet
Service went ahead and
behind
issued
this
that,
really
even
strong
though
storm system.
you might not be
Here's the
seeing
center
anything
of
at this
low
point, at
pressure.
least doesn't look
It
like
is
you
not
are,
very often we
as
track
according to the radar here.
non-thunderstorm wind gusts, but we're getting
They're
hurricane force,
certainly
near
giving you a
hurricane
heads
force
up
wind
of
gusts
what's to come here
from not thunderstorms,
quite shortly.
just
So I'm kind of
fast
doing a query on
flowing air
here
because how strong this area of low
so we
pressure.
can
This is one of the strongest storm
see,
systems
so expect
that has
damage to
crossed
trees
the
and power
Ohio Valley
lines.
in our
Again,
region,
it was issued because of
this
60
time
mile
of
per hour
year,
wind gusts that are
and,
possible.
really ever.
Locations impacted
Incredible. You're gonna see the
include
wind gusts building
Carrollton,
up. I mean, that
to the
looks like
Rising
that's the
Sun,
core of it
Warsaw,
right there.
Owenston,
And it might not be
Florence,
until
the
after
Kentucky
sunset
Speedway,
that we see
Patriot,
the winds
Pleasant,
get down
French,
to kind of a
Hartford,
tolerable,
Glencoe,
safe
Fairview,
level. And then after
Sanders,
midnight, before
Sparta,
it really starts to
Lakeville,
diminish, and we're
Hustonville,
back to
Monterey, and McGrath, all
sigh
included
of relief type
in
stuff.
that
So
Here's
warning.
a
Now
look
I know
at that
that's
PeakCast
several
map
of these
there, Dan.
areas
So
are,
it's showing
or towns I
those
should say,
very
are
high
just
wind
out
gusts
of the
that we just
WHAS
saw,
11
live
viewing area, but I know a lot of folks
fairly
may still
accurately
be able to
here in
watch
this
us or
model. So
have
as we take
family
it
and
through
friends
the
out
next
that
few
way.
hours, this is 7
So
o'clock.
we certainly
Still
want to
seeing wind
give
speeds
them
up to 50
a
to
heads up,
60 miles per hour.
as this
And
wind
it's
is
not going to be
nothing to
until,
play
as we
around
were
with.
saying, after midnight that we start to see them become a little
Severe
bit more
thunderstorm
tolerable,
warning that we have
which
here
is kind of
locally,
funny to say, because
again in
on any
effect
other
for
normal given
14
weather
more
day,
minutes
a
as
wind
we're
gust of
sitting
30
at
miles per hour is
3:46
pretty
in the
significant.
afternoon on
And
your
even
Friday.
as we get closer to
And
sunrise tomorrow
severe
morning.
thunderstorm warning in effect right now. Oh my gosh, that's so nice that you, Sam, just got all of us some water, even though you've been talking just as much as the rest of us.
I unfortunately do have to leave in about a half an hour, but
And so as we've been talking, Sam and I have both been here. We did the morning show, we did GMK. But when this sort of thing happens, or is expected to happen, it's what we forecasted. We have all hands on deck.
oh yeah. So you got the biggest weather team in the area.
Yeah, and so days like this, you really want to take advantage of having a big weather team so that we can do all sorts of coverage just from different angles, like we
Right.
talked about. I was in the beast earlier, so we can have, and Reed is still in his weather chasing vehicle
Yep.
to the south.
The flash flooding threat.
John
on that
Humphreys.
line.
Yes, and
Still
that
need to
shows
watch
us
out
the
near
ground
rivers,
truth
creeks,
and
streams, low-lying
his
areas.
own
Some of the rivers are still gonna
vantage
slowly
point
rise
of what he's
as the
seeing
water
outside.
basins fill
Right.
up. We need to keep the kids away from
And
playing around any of the
yes,
rushing water.
it's long days, but
Especially in the weekend.
It's worth it.
It's-
That's why we're here.
To the rivers to rise. That is a very
we
dangerous
have all of us,
situation
all
in
hands on
flooding
deck, all
whatsoever.
hands in studio.
Then I have-
If Colleen
So,
was in Colorado,
what's
she'd be
left
here too, I'm
for my last
sure.
point
Yeah.
here is the
As we
strong
continue to
winds,
track
the
this
high wind
severe
warning
weather
until
threat
10 p.m. Yeah,
I have
that
a
is
quick
just
storm
about
report
out of our
here.
area
County,
here.
Several power outages.
There's still
trees
some
down
minor showers as we
across
look
the
back
road
toward
all over the
I-65
county,
in
so
southern
trees
Indiana for you
down.
folks around
Multiple
Sellersburg
lines
up to
down,
Henryville.
multiple power poles snapped, and
Not
hostile
severe at
winds
this
to several
time and
residences
likely a
and
lot
businesses
weaker
that are currently still
in terms
being
of how much
reported.
rain
As
it's
for
dumping at this
the,
point. Not necessarily the wind,
river levels
though.
that you were mentioning, I'm gonna quickly pop up here to see
Let's
if
pull up those
maybe-
wind gusts to
Yeah,
see
so, take this full
if
here.
anything's
This is the
changed here.
delay in that heavy rain. So right now, the
64 mile
Dalton
per hour wind
lower
gusts
river
right
gauge
now
is at 29
in
and a half
Munfordville.
feet, which
That's
is pretty normal,
picked
but
up
we're
quite a
gonna
bit
see it rise to
as this
43
front
feet
works
over
its
the
way
next couple
through.
of days. So
We're
this is
gusting
a
over 50 miles per
fascinating
hour in
storm
Louisville.
system in the sense that we're still gonna
56
be
mile per
feeling
hour gusts in
impacts
E-Town.
from it
E-Town has
even through
really
the
not
weekend,
gotten a break
even
at
if
all
the
from
air
the
might
very
be
strong
quiet,
winds that
we're
we've
still gonna
had.
have some
Over
calls
40
going on
mile per
down
hour
at the
gusts,
ground.
Brandenburg to
In this case, it
Hardinsburg.
would be at the river basin.
So
and
again,
staying
you guys
fairly
aren't seeing
elevated through,
the
the
rain
early part
anymore,
of next week.
but
So
you're
as we head back
certainly
into work
feeling
next
that
week,
wind
or
and will
maybe if you live near the
continue
river, you're going
to
notice
feel
those
that
elevated
wind
river levels, and that's all
into
gonna be a
the next
result of
several
the rain that
hours.
we're currently seeing right now.
Yeah, this is a multifaceted storm. Let's go
So
back to those gusts, Alden.
let's
We
look
had
at
an
the
update, the current gusts, not the
temperatures
forecast
across.
gusts.
We're
And it
still
looks like
hovering
down towards
close to 70
Munfordville,
degrees.
near the core there,
Louisville
we got
Airport,
64
we have lower
mile
50s
per
in
hour
southern
wind gusts.
Indiana,
Now,
as opposed
the
to those
National
lower
Weather Service
70s.
would normally
Springfield to
issue a
Campbellsville.
severe
Now,
thunderstorm warning
we did have quite a
if
bit of a
wind gusts
drop in
got up to
Munfordville.
60
As that
because
wind
it can
just
do
picked up,
damage to your
we
property,
were
to
previously
trees,
hovering around
power
70 and you
outages.
just got
This is
back
just
down
fast
into
flowing air with
the
no
middle
thunderstorms
60s.
whatsoever.
How about some
And
of
we
those
just had
50s,
gusts up to around
down from close to 70
at,
degrees.
Louisville,
Hardinsburg to
Colorado
Litchfield
International
as well.
Airport.
Brandenburg
So, unfortunately,
also
I think
just
those numbers
came
of
down
the
to
power
58
outages
degrees.
are
So
gonna
that'll be
continue to
your
rise.
trend for the rest of
It's
this
really
evening. You'll
interesting
continue
graphics
seeing
because
those numbers
it shows
dropping
the
off,
core of the wind
and the
speeds,
wind
and we need to
kind of
get that
just
out of here
sticking around,
before
going to be very stubborn.
we can stop
to
the
move
power
around
outage
here.
problem, basically.
So again,
And the
that's really a
crews that
scan
need to
of
go out
the
and
wind.
work on the
That's your
power
gusts.
poles
We'll look
and
at
the
those
lines that are
wind
down.
speeds again.
Just not good conditions, unfortunately, for those
We're
crews.
sustained
Say that
around
again.
30
Hold
miles
on.
per hour in
Core of that
Lebanon to
airport.
Campbellsville,
And pull this
31
up,
mile per hour
also for
sustained wind
your
speed
sake.
in
This is
Columbia,
analysis of
and
that
just
local
under
jet
40
that
mile
we're
per hour
talking
sustained
about.
wind
That purple
in
shade right there
Springfield.
is the core of what you've been calling a low level
And
jet. You've been
Sam, I
talking about
believe
this
we'll
in
be
like a
wrapping
hurricane.
this up here
Well,
soon,
there's
as
your
we
eye.
do
This
have a
is
regular
Yeah.
scheduled
very low wind
newscast
speeds.
set to go on.
Yeah,
here
we
in
might
just
have to
10
log out here in a little
minutes.
bit. There's only about 20 live with us here. But
Yeah,
just
so we can go ahead and direct everybody to WHAS 11 News at
yeah,
4.
the good news is that the thunderstorm threat is gone. The tornado threat is basically gone. We're just going to be watching these strong wind gusts as the rest of the day goes on today.
The damaging wind gusts.
Yeah.
That will be your main threat from this point forward, as well as the flooding that's left over. I
Yep.
know a lot of that will be quick to recede,
Right.
but don't let your guard down when it comes to seeing pooled up water in the
Yeah,
roadway.
just use common sense. Stay inside. Just ride this out. Wait till tomorrow. The wind will start to dissipate, and
Yeah,
well,
and
this weekend's gonna be glorious. Show the 7-day forecast.
yeah, I did
perfect.
whenever you're getting water, because I think folks
Yeah.
need something to look forward to after such a day like today.
This weekend will be great.
Just a quick review here again before I show you that good news from Carrollton down in Newcastle. You folks still have a lot of wind to contend with this severe thunderstorm. Again, the main threat, 60 mile per hour wind gusts as that races off to the northeast. So the 7 day, here we go. And I was kind of pointing out really the contrast in temperatures too. It's just that time of year when the seasons are trying to change, but not really sticking with one season at the same time, you know.
So
we went ahead and added in that rain snow mix potential on Friday, believe it or not, as compared to Monday, which is going to offer temperatures in those middle 70s. We will at least have the wind holding off through the weekend. That'll be a really nice treat for us after all of the wind that we've had today. Saturday and Sunday, those would be great days to get outside because, well, nobody really wanted to be outside today, and you won't want to be for the rest of your Friday. Middle 70s on Monday will give way to a possible rain chance overnight. Now, that still doesn't look very promising at all. Model trends have been pretty persistent in it not being promising, not being a huge deal for us by any means, but it will be enough to crank up our winds and dip our temperatures back to the 50s. So we'll spend most of next week kind of all over the place. Just temperatures dropping one day after the other as we're eventually going to get down into those lower 40s. Obviously a lot can change between now and next Friday, but models at this point showing us a chance for a rain snow mix next Friday. So hey, if you like summer, Monday's your day. If you like snow,
Exactly.
Friday's your day.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yep.
A little bit of everything.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah. Hey,
Weekend will
thank
be
you guys
nice.
so much for tuning in. We'll leave you with radar here.
I know that's just off to the northeast of Louisville, so we just have a couple
One last
sprinkles
look
there.
as
Old County, here's this
the end
heaviest
of that,
rain right over
the tail end of that
Newcastle,
line is
over
continuing to
Carroll
push
County,
on out
over Carrollton,
and cranking
just
up
to
your
the
winds as
north
it does
of
so.
Bedford, there's 421.
Thank you guys for
Milton
watching.
Mass right
We
there.
hope that
This is going to be heading out of our viewing
you're staying
area,
safe,
heavy rainfall,
as well
and
as your
next,
friends and family,
throughout
as
our
that will
newscast
continue to
here
push
the
off
next
to the
2.5
northeast here.
hours, we're just going to be
For now,
talking
guys, we're
about
going to sign
where we
off.
think
Stick with us at
the
WHS 11 for much more. We'll be on in
gonna be
7